You selling them, sweetheart?
Mark's coffee hit the floor. Rex jerked forward hard. The leash burned through
We
Mark's
haven't had
palm.
milk in a week.
12 years training canine units. Rex
This
never
stew
pulled.
is incredible,
Never.
Rilla.
What the? Then the others moved. Not ran.
Yeah, best
moved.
I've had in a long
Together.
time.
14 German shepherds, different handlers, different training schedules, all breaking position at once. Mark. Chen's voice cracked. What are they doing? He didn't answer. Couldn't. Because his brain couldn't process what his eyes were seeing. The dogs formed a circle. Tight. Perfect. Military precision. And in the center a little girl. 5 years old. Maybe 6. 2 braids. Pink sneakers. And a teddy bear clutched so hard her knuckles were white. The barking exploded. 14 voices. All at once. Not attacking Rex's tail was wrong for that his hackles only half raised. This wasn't aggression. This was panic. Everybody back! Mark's command cut through screams. A woman dropped her purse. A man stumbled into a trash can. Parents grabbed kids and ran. Mark pushed through the circle. Rex heel! Rex didn't move. Atlas stand down. Nothing. Chen appeared at his elbow. Control code Yellow Gate 12. K9 unit has spontaneous... She stopped. Mark, look at them. He was looking. The dogs weren't lunging. Their bodies were tense, yes, but protective. Like they were guarding something, or guarding against something. The little girl stood frozen, tears streaming, lips trembling, the bear shaking in her hands. Mark dropped to one knee, made himself small, unthreatening. Hey there, sweetheart. His voice came out gentle, the same voice he used with Sophie when she had nightmares. My name's Officer Mark. Can you tell me your name? The girl's mouth opened, closed. Nothing came out. It's okay. Nobody's going to hurt you. These dogs, they're just worried, that's all. What's your name, honey? A whisper, barely audible. Lily. Lily. That's beautiful. Lily, are you here with someone? Your mom? Your dad? Daddy. The word choked out. Daddy gave me this. She lifted the bear. Rex growled. Low, deep. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Mark's pulse spiked. Lily, where's your daddy right now? He said. Her voice cracked. Bring it to mommy. Don't let go. He said, don't let go. She started crying. Real sobs. The kind that shook her whole body. Chen moved closer. Sweetie, we'll help you find your mommy. What's your mommy's name? Emily. Good girl. That's so good. Chen shot Mark a look, mouthed, page her. Mark kept his eyes on the bear. On Rex. The dog's nose was working overtime, nostrils flaring, pulling in scent after scent. Lily, can I see your teddy bear? Just for a second. No. Pure panic. Daddy said don't let go. He said they'll take it. He said, okay, you hold on to him. Does he have a name? A sniff. A nod. Mr. Buttons. Mr. Buttons. I bet he's special. Daddy said he's broken. Mommy knows how to fix him. Broken. The word landed like a punch. Mark looked at Rex. The dog's eyes hadn't left the bear. Not once. Chen. Scanner. Now. She was already moving. Rodriguez appeared 60 seconds later. Handheld detector. The kind that picks up chemical compounds. Explosives. Biologicals. Slow, Mark said. Don't spook her. Rodriguez approached. The dog's barking intensified. He stopped. Adjusted sensitivity. Aimed at the bear. The device beeped. Once, twice. Then it screamed. Rodriguez's face went white. Metallic signature. High density. Non-ferrous. Mark, this is reading like bomb squad, right now. Chen ran. Mark turned back to Lily, forced his face to stay calm. Lily, honey, listen. I need you to put Mr. Buttons down, very gently. No! Her voice rose to a shriek. Daddy said don't let go. Daddy said they'll hurt him. Nobody's hurting Mr. Buttons. We're going to fix him, like your daddy wanted. But I need you to—" "No." She turned to run. Rex moved, stepped sideways, blocked her path. Didn't touch her, just became a wall. The other dogs closed ranks. Lily collapsed, sobbing. The bear pressed to her face. Mark's chest ached. This was someone's baby, terrified, alone, holding the one thing her father told her to protect. But if that scanner was right, Lily— He moved closer, eye level. "I'm a daddy too. I have a little girl, Sophie. When she's scared, she holds her bear, Captain Fluff." The sobs quieted, just slightly. "Captain Fluff's missing an eye now. His leg came off once. But we fixed him. We always fix him. That's what we do for things we love. And I promise we'll take care of Mr. Buttons." Her breathing hitched. Fingers loosened. "Can you trust me?" Lily looked up. Red eyes. Tear-streaked face. She looked at Rex. The dog had stopped growling. Just sitting. Watching. Gentle. "Will he be okay?" "I promise." Slowly, God, so slowly, she held out the bear. Mark took it. Like glass. Like a grenade. Rex's entire body changed. Ears forward. Tail down. He backed up 2 steps. Sat. Mark stood. Held the bear at arm's length. "Clear the area. 50 feet. Move everyone." "What about the girl?" "She stays with me." "Mark, if that thing—" "I know." But he wasn't leaving her alone. Chen returned, breathing hard. "Bomb squad's 3 minutes out. TSA's shutting down gates 10 through 15. Get me Emily, last name unknown. Traveling with a 5-year-old. Check all recent check-ins." "On it." Mark looked at the bear. Up close, it was old, worn. The fur pilled and faded, stitching along the back uneven like it had been opened, repaired. But the weight was wrong. Too heavy. He turned it over. The back seam was hand-stitched. Fresh thread. Recent. Someone had opened this. Put something inside. Sewn it back. Daddy said bring it to Mommy. What kind of father sends his daughter through airport security with— The alarms went off. Not fire. Not security breach. Evacuation. Red lights strobed. "Attention. This is an emergency. Proceed to nearest exit. This is not a drill." Panic exploded. Screaming. Shoving. A stroller knocked over. A woman fell. 2 gate agents pulled her up. The K9 unit held. Mark dropped beside Lily. Shielded her. Rex pressed against them both. "Chen, what's happening?" Her voice crackled back. Tight. Scared. "Second device. Baggage claim. They're evacuating the whole terminal." Mark's blood froze. Second device. This wasn't random. This was coordinated. He looked at the bear, at Lily, at Rex. "Lily, when did your daddy give you this?" "This morning, at home, before the car." "What car?" "The black car, with the men." "What men?" "Daddy said they were helping. They drove us. They said—" Her eyes filled. "Mommy was waiting. But I can't find Mommy. I can't find her. And Daddy said don't let go, and I tried—" "You did perfect. You did exactly right." Mark's mind raced. Father, child, bear, hidden device, men, black car, mother missing. This wasn't a bomb. This was a delivery. And Lily was the courier. Bomb squad arrived. Full gear. Captain Mitchell took one look at the bear and set up containment. "We X-ray this now. Mark, evacuate. Take the child. Not until we find her mother." "Mark, I'm not leaving her." Mitchell's jaw tightened. "Then get behind the blast shield." Mark lifted Lily. She wrapped around him. Rex followed to the safe zone. Chen appeared, tablet in hand. "Found her. Emily Parker. Flight 447 to Seattle. Gate 14. Ticket purchased yesterday. Cash. At the counter." "Where is she now?" That's the problem. She checked in, went through security, then nothing. No footage past the checkpoint. Mark's gut twisted. Pull up her ID. Chen tapped. A photo appeared. Blonde, early 30s. Tired eyes. Show this to every agent, every officer. Mark. Mitchell's shout. She was crouched over the X-ray unit, face visible through the helmet. Terrified. Mark handed Lily to Chen. Ran. What? Mitchell pointed at the screen. This isn't a bomb. The X-ray showed the bear's insides, but where stuffing should be something else. Rectangular. Dense. Transmitter. Military grade. Active. Broadcasting since she walked in. Mark's vision tunneled. Broadcasting what? Location data. Biometric feedback. Real-time tracking. Mark, whoever put this inside that bear is watching her. Right now. They know exactly where she is. A scream split the air. Lily, Lily! Mark spun. A blonde woman fighting TSA officers. Clawing, screaming, face desperate. That's my daughter. That's my baby. Lily. The little girl's head snapped up. Mommy! She tore from Chen's arms. Ran. Small legs pumping. Wait! Chen reached. We don't know if... Too late. Lily launched into the woman's arms. Emily Parker collapsed to her knees, sobbing, clutching her daughter like she'd never let go. I couldn't find you. They said gate 4. They said, oh God, baby, I'm so sorry. Mark approached, hand on weapon. Ma'am, Officer Jensen, are you Emily Parker? She looked up, face streaked with tears. Yes, this is my daughter. Where did you... She was found alone at gate 12, with a teddy bear that... Oh God, her face went gray. The bear. Daniel gave her the bear. He said it was important. He said I had to take it. He said... She stopped, went rigid. Ma'am, where is it? Whisper. Where's the bear? Mark gestured toward containment. We had to secure it. Ma'am, I need you to tell me... You don't understand. She stood, pulled Lily behind her. That bear isn't dangerous. It's evidence. My husband, Daniel Parker. He works for Redstone Defense Solutions. 3 weeks ago, he discovered something. A breach. Military contracts being sold. She stopped, eyes darting around. To who? I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. Said it was safer. But then men came to our house. Suits. Said they were investigators. Federal. Daniel didn't believe them. He said, voice breaking. If anything happened to him, I had to get the bear to someone he trusted. Seattle field office. Where is your husband now? Tears filled her eyes. I don't know. He put us in a car this morning. Said he'd meet us. But he never came. And those men, different men, followed us. I thought if I could just get through security, get on the plane. The lights went out. Every screen, every sign, every bulb. Emergency lighting kicked in. Dim red. Everything shadow and blood. Rex started barking. Different now. Aggressive. Territorial. Everyone down! The window exploded. Glass showered inward. Screaming. Chen tackled Emily and Lily. Through the broken window, a black van. Idling outside the fence. No plates. Tinted windows. Side door slid open. 2 men stepped out. Dark clothes, tactical gear. Not police. Not federal. Looking directly at the containment unit. At the bear. Rex's barking hit fever pitch. The other dogs joined. 13 voices rising. Mark's hand found his gun. Security breach, north entrance. The men moved. Fast. Coordinated. Professional. One raised something to his shoulder. RPG! Mitchell screamed. Everybody! The explosion came from behind. Baggage claim. The second device. Fire bloomed. Metal shrieked. Floor buckled, and through smoke and screaming, Mark saw the van's door slide shut. They were leaving, without the bear, without Lily. Rex lunged toward the window, barking continuous fury. "Mark!" Chen's voice, sharp. "The van, it's moving!" He turned. The van pulled from the fence, tires screeching, not fleeing, circling, hunting. Lily whispered into her mother's shoulder. 5 words. "Daddy said they'd come back." Mark's radio erupted. "All units, black van, no plates heading south on Perimeter Road." "I need eyes on that vehicle now," Mark shouted into his handset. Rex was still going insane, pulling so hard the leash cut into Mark's palm. "Chen, get them to the secure room, 3rd floor. Move." "What about you?" "I'm going after that van." "Mark, you can't. They just blew up half the terminal. You think they're done?" He looked at Emily. At Lily. The little girl's face was buried in her mother's neck, small body shaking. "Whatever's in that bear, they want it bad enough to kill for it. And they know she's here." Emily's voice came out strangled. "They're tracking her. The transmitter, we disabled it, but—" Mark stopped. "Wait, we disabled it." Mitchell was already ahead of him. "They lost the signal. That's why they're circling. They don't know her exact location anymore. But they know she's in this terminal." Mark's mind raced. "Chen, how many exits?" 4 main, 6 emergency. "Lock them all down. Nobody in or out until we—" His radio crackled. "Suspect vehicle spotted. Gate 7 loading zone. 2 occupants visible. Armed." Mark ran. Rex ran with him, the leash slack, now the dog matching his stride perfectly. Behind them, Chen was already on her radio coordinating evacuation routes, calling for backup. They hit the main concourse at full sprint. Passengers pressed against walls, some crying, some on phones. A child was screaming for his mother. "Move, police! Move!" The crowd parted. Through the windows ahead, Mark saw it, the black van idling near the departure curb. Driver still inside. 1 passenger out, standing by the sliding door, scanning the terminal through the glass. Looking for someone. Looking for Lily. Mark slowed, got low, used a support column for cover. Rex went silent beside him, body coiled ready. The man outside was speaking into a radio. Mark couldn't hear the words, but he could read the body language. Agitated, frustrated. They lost her. Mark's own radio crackled, Chen's voice quiet. "Mark, we've got her secured. 3rd floor safe room. But we've got a problem." "What problem?" "The bear." Mitchell ran a deeper scan. "That transmitter. It's not just sending data. It's receiving." Ice flooded Mark's veins. "Receiving what?" "We don't know yet. But Mark, it activated something. Right before the explosion. It sent a trigger signal." "To the device and baggage claim?" "No. To something else. We're scanning now, but hold on." Static. Chen. Nothing. Rex's growl started low. Building. The man by the van turned. Looked directly at their position. Had he seen them? No. He was looking past them. At something behind Mark. Mark turned. A woman was walking toward Gate 7. Blonde hair. Carrying a child. But not Emily. Not Lily. Different woman. Different kid. The man by the van tensed. Reached for something under his jacket. "No!" Mark broke cover. "Police hands where I can see them." The man froze. 1 second. 2. Then he dove into the van. The driver gunned it. Tires screamed. The van shot forward, clipped a taxi, swerved into traffic. "All units suspect vehicle fleeing south on Airport Boulevard, black, van no plates, armed. Suspects extreme caution." Mark ran to the curb, but the van was already gone, disappearing into the tangle of departure lanes and shuttle buses. Gone. But they'd be back. Mark knew it in his gut. Whatever was in that bear, Whoever these people were, they weren't giving up. His radio crackled back to life. Chen's voice tight with urgency. "Mark, get back here, now. Mitchell found something." "What?" "The bear. There's more than just a transmitter inside." Mark took the stairs 3 at a time. Rex bounded ahead, his claws clicking on concrete. 3rd floor. Secure room. 2 armed officers at the door. Inside, Emily sat in a plastic chair, Lily curled in her lap. The little girl's eyes were closed, but Mark could see she wasn't sleeping. Her eyelids fluttered, her breathing too quick. Mitchell had the bear on a table, partially dissected now. The fur carefully peeled back, the stuffing removed. And there, nestled in the center, 2 devices. One was the transmitter they'd identified. Small. Civilian-grade GPS chip modified for military encryption. But the other... "What is that?" Mark asked. Mitchell's hands were steady, but her voice wasn't. "Data storage. Solid state. Military encryption. And it's big. Really big. We're talking terabytes of information." Emily spoke up, her voice hollow. "Daniel's evidence. The contracts. The breach. He must have downloaded everything." "On to this?" Mark looked at the tiny chip. "How much data are we talking?" "Enough to bring down a defense contractor," Emily said. "Maybe several." Daniel said. She glanced at Lily, lowered her voice. "He said people were selling weapon specs to foreign buyers. Classified systems, missile guidance, drone architecture, everything." "Who?" "I don't know names. He wouldn't tell me. But someone high up, someone with access." She looked at Mark. "Someone who knows we're here, who knows what we have." Mitchell's scanner beeped. She frowned. Adjusted settings. Scanned again. "What?" Mark asked. "There's a 3rd component. I almost missed it." She pointed to a hair-thin wire running from the data chip to the transmitter. "It's a fail-safe." "What kind of fail-safe?" "The kind that wipes the data if someone tries to access it without the right encryption key." She looked up. "But that's not the problem." "What's the problem?" "This wire. It's also connected to something else. Something I can't identify. And it's active." Chen appeared in his doorway. "Mark, we've got a situation." "Another one. Airport security just picked up chatter. Someone called in a bomb threat. Specific. Detailed. They're saying there's a device somewhere in Terminal C. That's this terminal." "I know." Mark's blood ran cold. "The 3rd component." Mitchell was already moving, running more scans, her equipment humming. "If this is a bomb, it's not conventional. It's not reading like explosives. It's weight. Oh no." "What?" "It's a thermite charge. Small, but enough to incinerate everything within a 3-foot radius." She looked at the bear, at the data chip. "It's designed to destroy the evidence. Can you disarm it?" "Maybe, if I had time. But Mark..." She pointed to a tiny display on her equipment. "It's on a timer, and it's counting down." Mark's pulse hammered. "How long?" 18 minutes. Emily stood, clutching Lily tighter. "We need to evacuate." "We are evacuating," Chen said. "But the terminal's chaos. The earlier explosion blocked 2 exits. We've got thousands of people trying to funnel through." "Then we run!" Emily interrupted. "We take Lily and we run." "They're waiting for that," Mark said. "The van, those men. They're out there right now watching every exit. The moment we step outside with her." "Then what do we do?" Emily's voice cracked. "Let that thing explode. Let everything Daniel died for." She stopped, corrected herself. Voice breaking. "Everything he's hiding for. Let it all burn." Lily stirred, opened her eyes. "Mommy." "It's okay, baby. We're okay." But they weren't okay. Mark looked at the timer. 16 minutes 40 seconds. He looked at Rex. The dog was sitting perfectly still watching him, trusting him. He looked at Lily, 5 years old, holding on to her mother, holding on to hope. "Mitchell," Mark said, "can you separate the data chip from the thermite charge?" "Not safely. They're integrated. If I try to remove one, I'll trigger the other." "What if we don't remove it? What if we contain it?" "What are you thinking?" Mark pointed to the window. "We're 3 stories up. There's a construction dumpster outside. Empty. Steel reinforced." Mitchell's eyes widened. "You want to throw it out the window? Can that dumpster contain the blast?" "Maybe. Probably. But the data will survive if we move fast enough. We get the chip out, download it, then dump the bear with the thermite charge before it blows." "That's insane. You have a better idea." Silence. Chen spoke up. "How long to download that data?" Mitchell checked her equipment. 10 minutes, maybe 12, if nothing goes wrong. Mark looked at the timer. 15 minutes, 10 seconds. "Do it." Mitchell moved. Fast, precise. She had the data chip isolated within 90 seconds, connected to her laptop within 2 minutes. "Downloading now." "But Mark, this encryption is serious. It's going to take..." "How long?" 11 minutes minimum." The timer read 13 minutes 40 seconds. "We can make that," Chen said. But Mark was watching Rex. The dog's ears had flattened. His body had gone tense again. Something was wrong. "Chen, what's our security status on the floor?" 2 officers at the door, 2 more at the stairwell. "Why?" "Pull the hallway cameras." Chen tapped her tablet, pulled up the feed. Empty hallway. 2 officers at the door. Everything normal, except, there. Mark pointed. Bottom corner. That shadow. Chen zoomed in, enhanced, a figure, pressed flat against the wall, just out of camera range. "How did he get past security?" Chen whispered. "Doesn't matter. He's here." Mark drew his weapon. "Mitchell, how long on that download?" 9 minutes. The timer read 11 minutes 20 seconds. "Chen, get Emily and Lily into the bathroom. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me." "Mark, now." Chen moved. Emily scooped up Lily and ran. The bathroom door slammed shut. Lock clicked. Mark positioned himself between the main door and the bathroom. Rex at his side, teeth bared. "Mitchell, keep downloading. Don't stop no matter what." "Mark, if someone comes through that door, they'll have to go through me first." 10 minutes 50 seconds on the timer. 8 minutes 30 on the download. The gap was closing, but too slow. Too slow. The door handle turned, slowly. Testing. Mark raised his weapon. "Police, do not enter." The handle stopped. Silence. Then a voice. Male. Calm. Professional. "Officer Jensen, we need to talk." "There's nothing to talk about. This is a restricted area. Leave now or I will use force." "I'm not here to hurt anyone. I just want what's mine." "Nothing in here is yours." "The data chip. It belongs to my employer." "Your employer is trafficking weapons specs. I'd say that makes it evidence, not property." A pause. Then, "You don't understand the situation you're in." "I understand fine. You're outside that door. I'm inside. You're unarmed." "I didn't say I was unarmed." Mark's grip tightened. "Then this is simple. You try to come in, I put you down." Another pause. Longer this time. "Officer Jensen, that device in there, the thermite charge. It's not the only failsafe." Ice flooded Mark's chest. "What?" "The download. You're trying to copy the data, but you can't. Not without the encryption key. And if your tech tries to bypass the encryption, the charge activates early." Mitchell looked up, face pale. "Mark, keep downloading." "Mark, if he's right." "I said keep downloading." The voice outside continued. 9 minutes left on your timer. But my people set that countdown, which means I can stop it. All I need is the chip. Not happening. Then everyone in that room dies. including the child. Lily, in the bathroom, with her mother. Mark's jaw clenched. You're bluffing. Ask your tech. Ask her if she's seeing anomalies in the download, corruption, errors. Mitchell's hands froze over the keyboard. Mark, there are errors, small ones, but they're increasing. What does that mean? It means... Her voice shook. It means he might be right. The system might be detecting the download attempt. And if it is, how long until we know for sure? We might not know until it's too late. 8 minutes, 10 seconds on the timer. 6 minutes 40 on the download. The gap was still closing. But if the download was corrupted, if they couldn't get clean data, then Daniel's evidence would die with them, and Lily would die for nothing. Mark's mind raced. Options, scenarios, outcomes, all of them bad. Officer Jensen. The voice again, calm, patient. I'm going to count to 10. If you don't slide that chip under the door, I'm activating the charge remotely. Your choice. You'll die too. I'm willing to accept that. Are you? Rex growled. Low. Continuous. Mark looked at the bathroom door. At Mitchell. At the timer. At the impossible choice. Save the evidence or save the child. 1. Mark's finger tightened on the trigger. 2. Mitchell's hands hovered over the keyboard. 3. Emily's muffled sob came from the bathroom. 4. Mark closed his eyes. Opened them. Mitchell, stop the download. What? Stop it, now. Mark will lose everything. I don't care, stop it. She hit a key. The download bar froze at 73%. 5. Mark holstered his weapon, walked to the table, disconnected the chip from Mitchell's equipment. 6. He looked at it in his palm. Tiny, insignificant, worth more than his life. Worth more than Lily's life. No. 7. Mark walked to the door. Rex barked, urgent, desperate. 8. Mark's hand touched the door handle. Mark, don't, Chen's voice. 9. Mark pulled the door open. The hallway was empty, no one there. What? The gunshot came from behind, from inside the room. Mark spun. The window had shattered. Glass everywhere. And standing in the frame, another man. Tactical gear, weapon raised, not pointed at Mark, pointed at the bathroom door. The chip, the man said. Now. Or I open that door and shoot everyone inside. Mitchell screamed. Chen drew her weapon, but the man was faster. His barrel swung toward her. Don't. She froze. Mark's hand was still on the chip, his gun still holstered. The timer read 6 minutes 30 seconds. The man's eyes never left Mark. Last chance. Mark looked at the bathroom door, heard Lily crying inside, heard Emily whispering, probably praying. He looked at Rex. The dog was coiled, ready to attack. One command and he'd launch. But the man would shoot first, and someone would die. Maybe Emily, maybe Lily, definitely Rex. Mark had seconds to decide. Then he heard it. Faint. From outside. Sirens. Lots of them. The man heard it too. His jaw tightened. The chip. Now. Mark's mind clicked into place. The sirens were close. Very close. Which meant backup was 30 seconds away. Maybe less. But could he stall that long? Okay, Mark said slowly. Okay. You win. Just don't hurt them. Please. He held out the chip. The man moved forward. 1 step. 2. Rex's growl intensified. The man's gun swung toward the dog. Control your animal, or I... Mark moved. Not forward. Sideways. Threw himself toward the table. Grabbed Mitchell's equipment, the bulky scanner solid steel casing, and hurled it. The scanner hit the man's weapon. Metal on metal. The gun discharged shot going wide, punching through the ceiling. Rex launched. 80 pounds of muscle and teeth. Hit the man's center mass. drove him backward into the wall. Mark was already running, tackled the man. They went down together. The gun skittered across the floor. The man was strong, trained. He got an elbow into Mark's ribs. Pain exploded. Mark's grip loosened. The man rolled, reached for something on his belt. Chen fired. One shot, center mass. The man jerked, fell still. Mark rolled off him, gasping, ribs screaming. Rex barked once, short, sharp, clear. The bathroom door flew open. Emily stumbled out, Lily in her arms. "Is he—" Emily couldn't finish. Chen kicked the man's weapon away, checked his pulse, nodded. Mark pulled himself up, looked at the timer. 4 minutes, 50 seconds. Mitchell, the download. She was already back at her laptop. Resuming now. But Mark, with that interruption, I don't know if. Just do it. The progress bar jumped forward. 74%. 75%. The sirens were right outside now. Voices shouting. Boots on stairs. Chen's radio. Third floor secure room report status. "We're okay," Chen shouted back. "Suspect down. We need EOD up here now." The door burst open. 6 officers, full tactical gear. "Clear the room," the team leader commanded. "We've got reports of—" "No time," Mark pointed at the bear. "Thermite charge, 4 minutes. We need a containment unit." The team leader took one look at Mitchell's equipment and started barking orders. "Davis, get the blast box. Chen, clear the hallway. Everyone else perimeter now." Mark went to Emily. Lily's face was buried in her mother's shoulder, small body shaking. "You're okay," he said softly. "You're both okay. We're getting you out." Emily looked up at him, eyes red, tear-streaked. "Is it over?" Mark glanced at the timer. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. At the download. 81%. Not yet. The blast box arrived. Military-grade containment unit. Steel walls. Blast-resistant lining. "Mitchell, how long?" Mark asked. 2 minutes, maybe less. The timer read 3 minutes, 10 seconds. The gap was closing. Finally closing, but still not enough. "We can't wait," the team leader said. "We put it in the box now, incomplete download or not." 30 more seconds, Mitchell pleaded. "Just 30? We don't have 30. Mark looked at the screen. 87%, 89%. Looked at the timer. 2 minutes, 50 seconds. "Mitchell," he said quietly, "how much data have we got so far?" "Most of it. The critical files came through first, but there's still. Will what we have bring them down?" She met his eyes. "Probably, maybe. I don't know." "Good enough. Disconnect it." "Mark, do it." She hit the key. The download stopped at 91%. The team leader grabbed the bear charge still attached and shoved it into the blast box. Sealed it. His team lifted the box and ran. Mark heard their boots hammering down the stairs. Heard them shouting. Heard the crash as they threw the box out a ground floor window. Into the construction dumpster. "Clear, everybody. Clear." Mark grabbed Lily and Emily. Chen grabbed Mitchell. They ran. Down the stairs. Across the concourse. Through the emergency exit. Outside. Cold air. Weak sunlight. The smell of jet fuel and fear. Behind them, the terminal was emptying. Hundreds of people streaming out. Some running. Some limping. Some carrying children. Mark set Lily down. Kept himself between her and the building. Chen's radio, 40 seconds. Everyone dropped. Covered their heads. Mark pulled Lily and Emily close. Rex pressed against them all. 30 seconds. Emily was praying, whispering words Mark couldn't make out. 20. Mark closed his eyes. 10. Counted his heartbeats. 5. This was it. The explosion was small, muffled. The dumpster contained most of it, but the deep whump of superheated metal and burning thermite still made everyone flinch. A gout of flame shot up, white-hot, chemical fire. It burned for 3 seconds, then died. Smoke poured from the dumpster, but it held. The dumpster held. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then someone started clapping. Then another person. Then everyone. Exhausted, terrified applause, the sound of people who'd just survived something they didn't understand. Mark opened his eyes, looked at Lily. She was staring at him with wide, solemn eyes. "Is Mr. Buttons okay?" she whispered. Mark's throat tightened. "Mr. Buttons he's gone, sweetheart. But he did his job. He kept you safe." "Did he keep Daddy's secret safe?" Mark looked at Mitchell. She held up the laptop, nodded. "Yeah," Mark said. "He did." Lily nodded, serious, like she understood. Then she wrapped her small arms around Mark's neck and buried her face in his shoulder. And this time when she cried, it wasn't from fear. Emily touched Mark's arm. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for choosing her." Mark didn't answer. Couldn't. Because he'd almost made the other choice, almost sacrificed her for the evidence, and he'd have to live with that knowledge forever. Rex pressed his nose into Mark's hand. The dog's eyes were calm now. Job done. "Good boy," Mark murmured. "Good boy, Rex." Chen approached, phone to her ear. "Mark, it's Seattle field office. They want to talk to Emily." Emily took the phone with shaking hands, listened, nodded, started crying again. When she handed the phone back, her face had transformed. "Daniel, they found him. He's alive. He's been in protective custody. They wouldn't let him contact us, but—" She choked on the words. "He's alive." Lily's head snapped up. "Daddy! Daddy's okay, baby. He's okay." The little girl burst into tears. Happy tears this time. Relief tears. Mark stood. Let Emily hold her daughter. Let them have this moment. He walked over to where the tactical team was securing the dumpster. The metal was still smoking, still hot. The thermite charge had burned through the bottom of the bear, leaving nothing but ash and twisted metal. But the data chip removed before the explosion was safe. Secured. Ready to bring down whoever had turned Daniel Parker's life into a nightmare. The team leader approached Mark. "Hell of a day, Jensen." "Yeah. Your dog's instincts saved lives today. You know that." Mark looked at Rex. The shepherd sat patiently waiting for his next command, his next mission. "He always does," Mark said. 3 hours later, the terminal was still closed. Federal investigators had arrived. FBI, Homeland Security, Department of Defense. The data chip was in their custody now. Along with the 2 men they'd captured, the one Chen had shot and the one from the hallway who'd turned out to be hiding in a janitor's closet. Both were talking, naming names, cutting deals. Mark sat on the bumper of an ambulance, an ice pack pressed to his ribs. Nothing broken, just bruised. He'd been lucky. Emily and Lily were in another ambulance, being checked over, both physically fine. Emotionally, that would take time. Chen sat down beside him, handed him coffee. "They're saying it goes all the way to the top," she said. "Redstone Defense, the CEO, board members, military liaisons, all of them. Daniel's evidence going to stick. Prosecutors say yes. This is massive, Mark. Biggest defense contractor scandal in decades." Mark sipped his coffee, said nothing. "You okay?" Chen asked. "Fine." "Bullshit." He looked at her. "I almost let that girl die for a pile of data, Chen." "But you didn't." "Almost. Almost doesn't count. It counts to me." They sat in silence for a while, watching investigators move in and out of the terminal, watching the sun get lower. Finally, Chen spoke again. "Emily wants to see you, before they take her to meet Daniel." Mark stood, winced, ribs protesting. Emily was standing near the ambulance, Lily holding her hand. The little girl looked small, exhausted, but alive. "Officer Mark," Lily said when she saw him. "Hey there, Lily. Mommy says you saved us." Rex did most of the saving. As if on cue, Rex trotted over. Lily's face lit up. She knelt down and threw her arms around the dog's neck. Rex stood perfectly still, patient, gentle. "Thank you, Rex," Lily whispered into his fur. "Thank you for keeping me safe." Emily looked at Mark. "They're flying us to Seattle tonight, protective custody until the trials. But I needed to—" Her voice cracked. "You gave me my daughter back. You gave her her father back. I don't know how to thank you for that." "You don't need to thank me." "Yes, I do." She reached into her pocket, pulled out something small, placed it in Mark's hand. A button. Plastic. From a teddy bear. "Mr. Button's last button," she said. "Lily wants you to have it. She says it's for when you're scared, so you remember to be brave." Mark looked down at the button, felt his throat tighten. "Lily," he said, kneeling down. "Are you sure this is from your bear?" Lily nodded, solemn. "Mr. Buttons is gone, but you kept his secret safe, so now you keep his button safe." "Okay. Okay." She smiled, small, exhausted, but real. Then she hugged him. And Mark, veteran K-9 officer, 12 years on the force, trained to handle anything, felt tears slip down his face. When they pulled away, Emily took Lily's hand. "We have to go now, baby." "Bye, Officer Mark. Bye, Rex." "Bye, Lily." Mark watched them walk toward the waiting federal vehicle, watched the door close, watched them drive away. Chen appeared at his shoulder. "You good?" Mark closed his hand around the button. "Yeah, I'm good." "Good. Because we've got 14 K-9 officers who want to know what the hell happened today, and somehow you're the one who has to explain it." Mark smiled. Tired. Genuine. "Let's go debrief." As they walked back toward the terminal, Rex trotted ahead, tail wagging. Just another day. Just another job. Saving lives. One bark at a time. The button sat in Mark's palm during the entire debrief. He couldn't let go of it. 14 K-9 officers packed into the airport's emergency command center. Captain Morrison from headquarters stood at the front arms, crossed jaw tight. Behind him, 3 screens displayed frozen security footage, the shattered window, the black van the man Chen had shot. "Start from the beginning," Morrison said. Mark told it. Every detail. Rex's initial reaction. The bear, the transmitter, the thermite charge, the men in tactical gear. When he finished, silence filled the room. Then Morrison spoke. "You discharged your weapon." "No, sir. Officer Chen did. Clean shoot. The suspect was armed, and—" "I read her report. I'm asking about you." Morrison's eyes were hard. "You had multiple opportunities to engage. You didn't. Why?" Mark's jaw clenched. "There was a 5-year-old girl in that room. So you let an armed suspect get within 6 feet of you. I made the choice I could live with. The choice that almost got you killed. But didn't." Morrison stared at him, long enough that other officers shifted uncomfortably. Finally, "Your dog. Rex. He identified the threat before any equipment did. Before any training protocol would have flagged it." "How?" "I don't know, sir. Instinct." "Instinct." Morrison said it like it was a foreign word. "We train these animals for months, years. We teach them specific scent profiles, chemical signatures, and you're telling me your dog just knew?" "Yes, sir." "That's not procedure, Jensen." "No, sir. But it worked." Another long silence. Then Morrison turned to the screens, tapped one. "This footage. From the hallway outside the secure room. We've been analyzing it. There's something wrong with it." Mark straightened. "Wrong how?" Morrison zoomed in on the timestamp. This shows the suspect, the one in tactical gear, entering the hallway at 7:34 a.m. But airport security shows all exterior doors sealed at 7:30. Bomb threat protocols. Nobody gets in or out. He was already inside, Chen said. Had to be. That's what we thought, until we pulled footage from earlier. Morrison tapped another screen. This is Terminal C, Camera 14, timestamp 6:15 a.m. The screen showed a maintenance worker, blue uniform, tool bag, walking through the terminal like he belonged there. Okay, Mark said. So, Morrison zoomed in on the worker's face, enhanced it. It was the same man, the one from the hallway, the one who'd climbed through the window. He was here before the bomb threat, Morrison said, before Emily and Lily even arrived, which means they knew, Mark finished. They knew the Parkers were coming. They were waiting. But how? Chen asked. Emily said she bought the ticket yesterday, cash, last minute. Doesn't matter how they knew, Morrison said. What matters is they had at least one operative inside the terminal before anything went wrong, maybe more. The room went cold. You're saying there could be others, Mark said. I'm saying we need to assume there are. This wasn't just a grab. This was coordinated, professional. These people had backup plans, contingencies. Morrison pulled up another image. And this concerns me most of all. The screen showed the black van, parked at the perimeter fence. But this angle was different, taken from a traffic camera half a mile away. In the driver's seat, barely visible through the windshield, a woman, blonde hair, sunglasses, calm expression. We've run facial recognition, Morrison said. No hits, she doesn't exist, not in any database. Ghost operative, someone muttered. Or someone very good at staying hidden. Morrison looked at Mark. The two suspects we captured aren't talking anymore. They lawyered up. Federal prosecutors are working on them, but it's going to take time. Time we might not have. What do you mean? I mean Daniel Parker is in protective custody in Seattle. His wife and daughter are en route to join him. But if these people knew the Parkers were coming to this airport, they might know where Daniel is now. Mark's stomach dropped. You think they'll try again? I think people who blow up airports don't stop because they lost round one. Morrison shut off the screens. Seattle field office is handling the Parker family security. Our job is to figure out how the breach happened here, how they knew, how they got inside, and whether they left any other surprises we haven't found yet. Sir, Chen spoke up, the data chip, what's on it? Above our pay grade. FBI took custody 2 hours ago. All I know is it's big enough that Defense Department is involved. White House has been briefed. This isn't just corporate espionage. This is national security. Rex shifted beside Mark's chair. The dog had been quiet throughout the debrief. Too quiet. Now his ears pricked forward, head tilted. Mark's hand went to Rex's collar. What is it, boy? Rex stood, walked to the door, sat facing it. Alert posture. Not aggressive, just waiting. Jensen, Morrison said. Your dog okay? He hears something. There's nothing out there. The floor is secured. But Rex didn't move. Didn't relax. Mark stood, walked to the door, opened it. Empty hallway. Fluorescent lights buzzing. Nothing. Except, you smell that? Mark asked. Chen joined him, sniffed. Smell what? Cologne, strong, like someone just walked past. Cleaning crew was through here 20 minutes ago. This is fresh. Morrison appeared behind them. There are 3 officers stationed at the elevator, 2 at the stairs. Nobody's been on this floor except us. Mark looked down at Rex. The dog's nostrils flared, processing scents invisible to human noses. Then Rex moved, down the hallway, not running, walking, purposeful. Rex heel. The dog ignored him. Rex, still walking, toward the far end of the hall, toward the emergency stairwell. Mark followed. hand on his weapon. Chen right behind him. They reached the stairwell door. Rex sat in front of it, perfectly still. Mark pulled the door open. Empty stairs, concrete, metal railings, echo of their breathing. But on the floor, a single smudge, dark, still wet. Mark knelt, touched it, brought his fingers up. Oil, mechanical, the kind used on weapon slides. "Someone was here," he said quietly. "Recently." Chen pulled her radio. "All units, possible intruder on 3rd floor. Secure all stairwells and..." The lights went out. Not just the stairwell, the entire floor. Emergency lighting kicked in after 3 seconds. Dim, red, everything shadows. Morrison's voice, "Everyone back to the command center now!" But Mark was already moving, down the stairs, Rex ahead of him, the dog's claws clicking on concrete. "Jensen!" Chen's shout behind him. "Wait for backup!" No time for backup. Someone had been on that floor. Someone who shouldn't exist. Someone good enough to slip past 3 security checkpoints and a dozen trained officers. And they'd left that oil smudge to be found. Why Mark hit the 2nd floor landing? Rex paused, sniffed, moved to the left. To a door marked, "Maintenance Access. Authorized personnel only." The door was ajar, just slightly. Mark pushed it open. Gun raised. Inside a narrow corridor. Service hallway. Pipes along the ceiling. Electrical panels on the walls. And at the far end, a figure. Moving fast. Away from them. "Police, stop!" The figure didn't stop. Mark ran. Rex ran with him. The hallway seemed to stretch forever. The figure reached another door. Pushed through. Mark hit the same door 5 seconds later. It opened onto the terminal's main concourse. Still evacuated. Still empty. Just yellow caution tape and abandoned luggage. No sign of the figure. Gone. Rex circled, searching, his body language confused. The scent was here, then gone, like someone had vanished into thin air. Chen caught up, breathing hard. "Did you see them?" "For a second, not enough to ID. Male, female." "Couldn't tell. They moved fast, professional." Morrison arrived with 4 other officers. "This floor is supposed to be locked down. How did someone..." "They're inside the security perimeter," Mark said. "They've been inside the whole time." "That's impossible." "Then explain the oil. Explain the cologne. Explain whoever I just chased through that hallway." Morrison's face darkened. "Chen, pull all security footage from the last hour. Every camera. I want to see who's moving through this building." "On it." "Everyone else full sweep. Every floor. Every room. If there's someone in this terminal who shouldn't be here, I want them found." The officers dispersed. Mark stood in the empty concourse, Rex pressed against his leg. Something was very wrong. These people, whoever they were, weren't just organized. They were embedded. They knew the building, the security protocols, the blind spots. And they were still here. But why Emily and Lily were gone? The data chip was gone. The evidence was secured. What were they waiting for? The answer came 30 minutes later. Chen found it in the footage. She called Mark back to the command center, her face pale. "You need to see this." She pulled up a video. Timestamp 8:47 a.m., right when the lights had gone out. Camera 23, 3rd floor. Hallway outside the secure room where they'd kept the bear. The footage showed officers stationed at the door. Everything normal. Then the lights went out. 3 seconds of darkness. When emergency lighting came back on, one of the officers was gone. "What the hell?" Mark leaned closer. "Where did he go?" Chen fast-forwarded. 30 seconds later, the officer reappeared, walking back to his post, adjusting his vest. "That's Officer Davis," Morrison said. 5 years on the force, clean record. He was one of the guys who brought the blast box. "Pull him in," Mark said. "Right now." Morrison got on the radio. Davis, report to command center immediately. Silence. Davis, respond. Nothing. All units locate Officer Davis. Last seen 3rd floor south corridor. Chen was already pulling more footage. Different cameras, different angles. She found Davis on camera 31, walking through a service hallway, alone, moving with purpose, toward the baggage claim, toward the area that had been destroyed by the second explosion. Why would he go there? Chen asked. That whole section is condemned, structurally unsafe. Because he's not going there as an officer, Mark said. His blood had gone cold. He's going there as an operative. Morrison's jaw clenched. Chen, call for backup. Everyone converges on baggage claim. Nobody approaches alone. Sir, if he's one of them, if he's been inside our operation this whole time, then we need to know what he's doing, and we need to stop him. Morrison looked at Mark. You and Rex, you're with me. They moved fast, down the stairs, through the terminal. Rex led the way, his body tense, focused. The baggage claim looked like a war zone. The ceiling had partially collapsed. Conveyor belts twisted and broken. Fire suppression foam coating everything, and in the center of the destruction, Officer Davis. Standing in front of a maintenance panel. The metal cover removed. Wires exposed. He wasn't wearing his uniform vest anymore. He was wearing something else. A tactical rig. Black. Military grade. And in his hands a phone, connected to the exposed wires. Davis. Morrison's voice. Commanding. Step away from that panel. Davis didn't move. Didn't even turn around. I said step away. Finally, Davis looked over his shoulder. His face was calm, almost peaceful. I'm sorry, Captain. I really am. What are you doing? My job. Your job is to serve and protect. That's what I'm doing. Davis returned his attention to the wires. You just don't understand who I'm protecting yet. Mark's gun was already drawn. Davis, whatever they're paying you, it's not about money. Davis tapped something on the phone. A timer appeared on the screen. It's about loyalty, about knowing which side of history to be on. What did you just activate? Davis smiled. The failsafe the girl's father built into the system, the one he thought would protect the evidence if something went wrong. But Daniel Parker isn't as smart as he thinks. Every security system has a back door. You just need to know where to look. Mark's mind raced. The data chip. You're trying to wipe it remotely. Not wipe it, corrupt it, make it inadmissible in court. Without clean data, there's no case. Without a case, my employers stay free. The FBI already has the chip. It's secured. Is it? Davis finally turned around fully. Are you sure about that? Because I just sent a very specific signal to a very specific server. And in about 3 minutes, every copy of that data, every backup, every download is going to experience a catastrophic error. You're bluffing. Am I? Morrison's radio crackled. Then a voice, frantic, confused. Captain, we've got a problem. The FBI transport, the one carrying the data chip, just stopped responding. We've lost communication. Davis's smile widened. Not a bluff. Mark's finger tightened on the trigger. Call it off. Can't. Already in motion. Then you're under arrest. For what? Touching some wires, being in a restricted area. Davis spread his hands. You've got nothing on me. And in 3 minutes you'll have nothing on my employers either. Rex growled. Low. Continuous. Mark had seen that posture before, just before the dog attacked. But if Rex attacked Davis now, if Davis went down, there'd be no way to stop whatever he'd set in motion. Rex hold. The dog's growl intensified, but he didn't move. Davis noticed. Smart dog, knows when the fight's already lost. The fight's not over, Chen said. She'd appeared from the side entrance, her tablet in hand. That timer you started, I can see it. You hardwired into the airport's network, which means you left a digital trail. which means I can trace it back and shut it down. Davis's smile faltered, just for a second. Go ahead and try, he said. But you'll need the encryption key, and I'm the only one who has it. Then give it to us, Morrison said. Or what? You'll shoot me. Go ahead. The moment I'm dead, the key dies with me. And that data gets corrupted anyway. Stalemate. Mark looked at the timer on Davis's phone. 2 minutes 40 seconds. Looked at Chen. She was furiously typing on her tablet, trying to break through Davis's encryption. Looked at Rex. The dog's eyes were locked on Davis, waiting for the command. Davis, Mark said quietly. Why 5 years on the force? You had a future. Why throw it away? Because the future isn't what you think it is, Davis said. You think you're the good guys. Think you're protecting people. But all you're doing is protecting a system that's already broken. My employers, they're building something new, something better. By selling weapons to foreign governments. By making sure power stays with the people who know how to use it. Daniel Parker wanted to destroy that. Wanted to hand classified technology to bureaucrats and politicians who'd waste it. I couldn't let that happen. So you became a traitor. I became a realist. The timer hit 2 minutes. Chen looked up, frustration clear on her face. Mark, I can't break it. Not in time. We need that key. Morrison stepped forward. Davis, last chance. Give us the key, or you're going to federal prison for the rest of your life. I'm already dead, Davis said calmly. The moment I activated that signal, I became a liability to my employers. They don't leave loose ends. So whether you arrest me or not, I'm not walking out of this airport alive. Then why protect them? Mark asked. If they're going to kill you anyway, why not help us? Because they'll take care of my family, my daughter's college fund, my wife's medical bills, everything I couldn't provide on a cop's salary. Davis's voice cracked. So yeah, I'm a traitor, but I'm also a father doing what fathers do, protecting their kids. 1 minute 30 seconds. Mark's mind spun. No time to break the encryption. No time to stop the signal. No time to wait. The FBI transport, Mark said suddenly. You said you sent a signal to it, to corrupt the data. But Chen, didn't the FBI make backups before they left? Chen's eyes widened. Protocol requires 3 copies. 1 in transport, 1 at the field office, 1 at the airport server room, Morrison finished, in case the transport gets intercepted. Davis's face went pale. Mark's heart leaped. You didn't know about the 3rd copy. There is no 3rd copy. I checked the protocols. Old protocols, Chen said. She was already running. New regulations went into effect last week. I need to get to the server room. Chen, wait. Morrison called after her. If that copy corrupts, then we lose everything, she shouted back. I have to try. Mark turned to Morrison. Go with her. I'll handle Davis. Jensen. Go. Morrison hesitated, then nodded, ran after Chen, which left Mark alone with Davis and Rex, and 1 minute 15 seconds on the timer. Doesn't matter, Davis said. Even if they save 1 copy, my signal's already in motion. The transport's compromised. That's enough to create reasonable doubt in court. Enough to... Rex lunged, not at Davis, at the phone in his hands. The dog's jaws clamped down. The phone flew from Davis's grip, landed 10 feet away. Screen cracked, but still working. Still counting down. Davis reached for his belt. For a weapon Mark hadn't seen. But Mark was faster. He closed the distance in 2 steps. Slammed Davis against the wall. Cuffed him before he could draw. Rex, guard! The dog positioned himself between Davis and the phone, teeth bared. Mark ran to the phone, picked it up carefully. 55 seconds. The screen showed the timer, and below it, a line of code. Instructions being sent to some remote server. Mark didn't know computers, didn't know encryption, but he knew how to break things. He raised the phone, brought it down hard against the concrete floor. The screen shattered. The timer disappeared. But had it worked? Had the signal stopped? Or was it still transmitting somewhere in the destroyed circuits? Mark didn't know. He pulled his radio. Morrison status. Static. Then Morrison's voice breathless. "We're at the server room. Chen's trying to hold on." More static. Mark counted his heartbeats. 1, 2, 3. Mark. Chen's voice. Triumphant. Relieved. "We got it. The third copy is secure. The encryption held." Mark's knees nearly buckled. "What about the transport?" "Still not responding. We're sending units to intercept. But even if that copy is corrupted, we've got clean data here. The case holds." Behind him, Davis made a sound. Something between a laugh and a sob. 5 years, he whispered. 5 years undercover. And it all ends because of a protocol change I didn't know about. Mark walked over to him, looked him in the eye. "It ends because you made the wrong choice," Mark said. "You could have come to us. Could have told us about your family's problems. We take care of our own. But you chose them instead. And now your daughter's going to grow up visiting you in prison." Davis's face crumpled. All the calm professionalism gone, just a man realizing what he'd lost. "I'm sorry," he choked out. "God, I'm so sorry." Mark didn't respond, just radioed for backup, for officers to take Davis into custody. As they waited, Rex sat beside Mark. The dog's breathing was steady, calm, job done. Mark's hand found the button in his pocket, the one from Mr. Buttons. Lily's voice echoed in his memory. "So you remember to be brave." He'd been brave today. They all had. But it wasn't over yet, because Davis had said something that kept repeating in Mark's mind. "I'm already dead. They don't leave loose ends." If Davis knew he was a dead man walking, if his employers planned to eliminate him, then the danger wasn't over. It was just beginning. Federal agents took Davis into custody 40 minutes later. They put him in a secure vehicle. 3 cars for escort. Full tactical team. Mark watched them drive away. "You think he'll make it to processing?" Chen asked beside him. "I don't know." He gave us names. During questioning. Low-level operatives, handlers. Some of them are probably already running. But not the ones at the top. No, not them. Morrison approached. He looked exhausted. 10 years older than he had that morning. "Seattle field office just called," he said. "The FBI transport was found abandoned on I-5. Driver unconscious. Data chip gone." Mark's stomach dropped. "Gone?" Someone intercepted them. Professional job. Clean. The driver doesn't remember anything. Just pulling over for what looked like a disabled vehicle, then waking up in the back of an ambulance. So Davis's people have the chip. Had. Past tense. Seattle PD found it in a dumpster 3 miles from the intercept point. Smashed. Burned. Completely destroyed. "But we have the backup," Chen said. "The one from the server room." "We do, and prosecutors say it's enough. But Mark..." Morrison's voice dropped. Davis was right about one thing. They don't leave loose ends. And right now, there are 3 people who represent major loose ends. Mark knew who he meant. Daniel, Emily, Lily. Seattle field office has them in protective custody, safe house, undisclosed location. But after today, after seeing how deep this goes, you're worried it's not enough. I'm worried about a 5-year-old girl whose father testified against people who blow up airports. Morrison met Mark's eyes. These people failed today. They lost the data. They lost Davis. They lost their element of surprise. Which means they're going to be desperate. And desperate people do very dangerous things. Rex shifted against Mark's leg. The dog's ears had flattened again. Body tense. "What is it, boy?" Mark asked. Rex's head turned. Toward the parking lot, toward something Mark couldn't see. Then Mark heard it. Sirens. Multiple. Approaching fast. "That's not our people," Chen said. "No. That's—" The explosion lit up the evening sky, not at the airport. Somewhere in the city. Maybe 5 miles away. Close enough that the ground shook. Close enough that car alarms started wailing. Morrison's radio exploded with chatter. "All units, massive explosion reported at Federal Building downtown. Multiple casualties. All available units respond." Chen's face went white. The Federal Building. That's where they were processing evidence from today. All the files. All the witness statements. "And where they were holding the 2 suspects we captured," Mark added. His blood had turned to ice. "The ones who were starting to talk." Morrison was already running toward his vehicle. "Everyone who can move, get downtown now." But Mark stayed where he was, looking at Rex, at the dog's body language. Something was wrong, very wrong. Because Rex wasn't looking toward the explosion. He was looking the other direction, toward the private aviation hangars on the north side of the airport. "Mark," Chen called. "We have to go." "You go. I need to check something." "Check what?" "A hunch." He didn't wait for her response. Just started walking, Rex at his side, toward the private hangars. The area was supposed to be empty. All private flights had been grounded after the evacuation. Nothing should be moving. But as Mark approached Hangar 7, he saw lights, heard voices. He slowed, drew his weapon, moved to the side door. Through the small window he could see inside. A private jet, Gulfstream, engine running, stairs deployed, and 3 people boarding. 2 men in suits, moving quickly, efficiently. And between them, a woman. Blonde hair, sunglasses even though it was almost dark. The driver from the black van, the ghost operative from the traffic camera footage. Mark's radio was in his hand. "All units, I've got 3 suspects boarding a private aircraft Hangar 7. Need immediate—" The woman's head turned, looked directly at the window, directly at him. She smiled, then said something to the men. They all moved faster. Up the stairs, into the jet. Mark ran, burst through the hangar door. "Freeze, police!" The jet's stairs were already retracting, the door closing. Mark aimed at the tires, fired twice, hit them both. But the jet kept moving, rolling toward the taxiway on the flat tires, metal rims screeching on concrete. Rex was barking. Furious, frustrated. The jet reached the taxiway, turned. Mark ran after it. Pointless, useless. But he ran anyway. The jet's engines roared. It started accelerating. Then over the engine noise another sound, the shriek of police sirens, airport security, 3 vehicles blocking the runway ahead. The jet couldn't take off, couldn't escape. It slowed, stopped. For a long moment nothing happened. Then the door opened. The woman appeared at the top of the stairs, hands raised, smiling. Behind her the 2 men, also surrendering. Too easy. This was too easy. Airport security surrounded the jet, officers everywhere. The 3 suspects were taken into custody without resistance, and the whole time the woman kept smiling. "Mark." Chen arrived breathing hard. "Did you— Holy shit, you got them." "I don't know what I got," Mark said quietly. "But something's wrong." They took the woman and the 2 men to the same command center where they'd debriefed earlier. Federal agents were already there. Homeland Security. People in suits whose agencies Mark didn't recognize. The woman sat calmly in the interview chair, hands folded, still smiling. "Name?" an FBI agent demanded. "Sarah Mitchell." "Real name?" "That is my real name. Want to see my driver's license?" "We know that's fake." "Then why ask?" The agent's jaw clenched. "You're being charged with terrorism, conspiracy, attempted murder. Good luck proving any of that. We have you on camera, at the airport, in the van, at the hangar. Being in places isn't a crime. You were fleeing." "I was traveling." Is that illegal now? Mark watched through the one-way glass. Beside him, Morrison looked ready to put his fist through the wall. She's trained, Morrison said. Intelligence background. Maybe CIA, maybe foreign. She's not going to break. What about the 2 men with her? Already lawyered up, not saying a word. And the explosion downtown? Destroyed half the evidence room, killed 3 people. Both suspects we were holding are dead. Fire investigators are saying it was a gas leak, but it wasn't. Mark finished. No, it was them. Cleaning up, removing witnesses, destroying evidence. But we still have the backup data from the server room. For now. But Mark... Morrison's voice dropped. I got a call 20 minutes ago from someone very high up. Someone who wanted to know if we're sure, absolutely sure the data is authentic. If we're certain it hasn't been tampered with. Chen verified it. It's clean. Chen's a good tech, but she's not a forensic expert. And in court, defense attorneys are going to argue that any data recovered after this much chaos could be compromised, could be fabricated. You're saying they might get away with it. I'm saying they're building reasonable doubt. And in federal court, that might be enough. Mark turned back to the glass, to the woman who called herself Sarah Mitchell. She was looking directly at the mirror, like she could see through it, like she knew Mark was standing there. And she winked. Mark's hand tightened on his weapon. Someone needs to tell Daniel Parker, he said quietly. Tell him that everything he risked, everything his family went through today, might not be enough. The prosecutors are confident. Are they really? Because, from where I'm standing, we just watched these people blow up a federal building, kill 5 people, destroy evidence, and still walk away, smiling. Morrison didn't respond, because there was no good response. Rex pressed against Mark's leg, the dog's warmth, his solid presence, the only thing that felt real in this nightmare. Mark's phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered. Jensen. Silence on the other end. Then a child's voice. Officer Mark. His heart stopped. Lily. Mommy wanted me to call. She said to say thank you for keeping Mr. Button's secret safe. Lily, where are you? How did you get this number? The nice lady gave it to us. She said you'd want to know we're okay. What nice lady? The one who's keeping us safe. She's really pretty. She has blonde hair and sunglasses and... The call disconnected. Mark's blood turned to ice. He grabbed Morrison's arm. Seattle field office. Call them right now. The safe house is compromised. What? How do you... Call them. Morrison grabbed his radio. Seattle field office, this is Captain Morrison, badge 4729. I need immediate confirmation of protective custody status for Daniel Parker and family. Static. Then, stand by. Mark's pulse hammered. Rex was growling now. Low, continuous. The radio crackled back. Captain Morrison, we've lost contact with the safe house. Units are en route, but... How long ago? 17 minutes. Mark ran. Didn't wait for orders. Didn't wait for backup. Just ran. Out of the command center. Through the terminal. Toward the parking lot. Chen caught up with him. Mark, where are you going? Seattle. They've got Lily. Seattle's 4 hours away. We can't... Then I'll be there in 3. He reached his vehicle. Rex jumped in. Mark started the engine. Morrison's voice through the radio. Jensen, you are not authorized to... Mark threw the radio out the window. Then he drove. Faster than was safe. Faster than was smart. Because somewhere in Seattle, a 5-year-old girl who'd trusted him was in danger, and the people who'd spent all day trying to kill her had just figured out where she was. Mark's foot hit the floor. The button from Mr. Buttons burned in his pocket. Hold on, Lily, he whispered. I'm coming. Behind him, the airport lights faded into the distance. Ahead, only darkness and the scream of his engine and the desperate hope that he wouldn't be too late. The highway stretched endless ahead. Mark's speedometer hit 90, then 100. Rex braced in the passenger seat, silent, understanding. Mark's phone rang. Chen. He answered on speaker. Talk to me. Seattle PD just arrived at the safe house. Mark, it's empty. No signs of struggle, no blood, just gone. All three of them. How long? Best guess 20 minutes before we lost contact. Someone shut down their security system from the inside. Inside job. Has to be. The agent assigned to the family, Agent Torres, his phone's going straight to voicemail. His backup agent Kim, same thing. Mark's knuckles went white on the steering wheel. They were supposed to have 4 agents on that detail. They did. We can't reach any of them. Jesus Christ. How deep does this go? I don't know, but Mark Morrison's calling in the FBI, Homeland Security. This is officially a kidnapping now. Federal jurisdiction. They're going to want you back at the airport. Not happening. Mark, they took Lily Chen. That little girl trusted me, looked me in the eye and trusted me. I'm not sitting in a conference room while she's... His voice broke. He couldn't finish. Chen was quiet for a moment. Then, what do you need? Address of that safe house. Everything you can pull on the agents assigned. Traffic cameras within a 5-mile radius. And Chen access to the airport security footage from this morning. All of it. Why the footage? Because Davis said he'd been undercover for 5 years. If he was dirty that long, he didn't work alone. There are others. And I need to know who. On it. I'll send everything to your phone. One more thing. That woman. The one who calls herself Sarah Mitchell. Is she still in custody? Silence on the other end. Too long. Chen. She's gone, Mark. His foot almost came off the gas. What do you mean gone? 20 minutes ago, during a transfer to federal holding. The transport vehicle was found abandoned on Route 9. Driver unconscious. No sign of Mitchell or the 2 men with her. How is that even possible? I don't know. But Mark, the driver. It was Officer Reeves, from our department. Been on the force 8 years. Let me guess. Clean record. No red flags. Until today. Mark's jaw clenched so hard his teeth hurt. They're everywhere. In our department. In the FBI. In Seattle PD. How do we fight people who've infiltrated everything? We trust no one. And we find that little girl before they decide she's a liability. The words hit like ice water. Because Chen was right. Emily and Daniel were valuable. They could testify, could identify operatives. But Lily, she was just a child, a witness who couldn't offer anything useful, which made her expendable. Send me everything, Mark said. I'm 3 hours out. Mark, be careful. If they know you're coming. Then they'll be ready. Good, so will I. He disconnected, pressed harder on the gas. The engine roared. Rex shifted beside him, ears pricked forward, sensing the urgency. Mark's phone buzzed. Chen's data dump. He risked a glance at the screen. Safe house address. Agent profiles. Traffic camera access codes. And one more thing. A text from Chen. Found something in the airport footage. Sending now. A video file downloaded. Mark couldn't watch while driving. Rex, I need you to be my eyes buddy. Stupid. The dog couldn't work a phone, but Rex's head tilted, like he understood the desperation in Mark's voice. Mark pulled off at the next exit, killed the engine in an empty rest stop, opened the video. Airport footage. Timestamp 6:47 a.m., right when the dogs had first reacted to Lily. But Chen had isolated a different camera angle, one focused on the crowd behind the canine circle. Mark watched passengers scatter, saw their fear, their panic. Then he saw her. One woman who wasn't running, standing perfectly still, 20 feet from the circle. Blonde hair, sunglasses, watching everything with calm, analytical focus. Sarah Mitchell, or whoever she really was. She'd been there from the beginning. Watching Lily. Watching the bear. Watching Mark and Rex. Mark fast-forwarded. The woman moved through the crowd, never rushed, never obvious, but always positioned to see everything. At 7:15 a.m. she stopped at a coffee kiosk, bought something, handed the cashier money, and in that brief moment when she reached across the counter, her sleeve rode up. Mark paused the video, zoomed in. On her wrist, a tattoo, small, intricate, some kind of symbol. He'd seen that symbol before. But where? His phone rang. Unknown number again. Every instinct screamed not to answer. But if it was Lily Jensen? A man's voice this time. Calm. Professional. Officer Jensen, I understand you're on your way to Seattle. Who is this? Someone who wants the same thing you do. To find the Parker family alive. Bullshit. If you wanted them alive, they wouldn't be missing. You misunderstand. I'm not with the people who took them. I'm trying to stop those people. Then identify yourself. I can't, not yet. But I can help you. The safe house where the Parkers were kept, it wasn't random. It belonged to Agent Torres, his personal property, not an official FBI location. Mark's blood went cold. Torres went rogue. Torres has been compromised for 6 months. We've been building a case against him. But we lost him today. Lost all 4 agents assigned to the Parker family. Lost them how? They're dead, Officer Jensen, all 4. Their bodies were found an hour ago in a warehouse near the safe house. Execution style. The people who took the Parkers are cleaning house, eliminating anyone who can connect them to this operation. Mark's hand tightened on the phone. How do I know you're telling the truth? Because I'm about to give you something no one else has, the location where they're holding the Parkers. Why would you give that to me? Because I can't send official units. Too many leaks, too many compromised agents. But you're outside the system now. No backup, no oversight, which makes you the only person I can trust. That's convenient. That's survival. Do you want the location or not? Mark's mind raced. This could be a trap. Could be someone leading him into an ambush. But if there was even a chance, Lily was where this person claimed, give me the address. Not an address. Coordinates. 47.6205 dig N. 122, 34 and 3 dig WW. Industrial area. Old shipping facility. But Officer Jensen, you need to understand something. The people holding them aren't going to negotiate. They're not going to surrender. They're going to fight. And they're going to use that family as leverage. How many? Unknown. At least 6 operatives. Possibly more. All armed. All trained. And you expect me to go in alone? I expect you to do what you've been doing all day. Trust your instincts. Trust your dog. And save that little girl. The line went dead. Mark sat in the silence. Rex's breathing the only sound. This was insane. Going into a hostile situation with no backup, no plan, just coordinates and a voice on the phone that might be friend or enemy. But Lily's voice echoed in his memory. Officer Mark. So small, so trusting. He started the engine. Rex's tail wagged once. Ready. Let's go find her boy. The coordinates led to the waterfront. Not the tourist area with restaurants and ferry terminals. The industrial side. Warehouses, shipping containers, places where screams wouldn't carry. Mark killed his lights a quarter-mile out, parked behind a rusted storage facility, checked his weapon. Full magazine. 1 spare. Not enough if things went bad, but it was what he had. He pulled Rex's tactical vest from the back, strapped it on the dog. Kevlar panels. Camera mounted on the harness. Standard K9 field equipment. This is going to be dangerous, Mark said quietly. More dangerous than training. You understand? Rex's eyes met his. Steady. Confident. Mark's throat tightened. If something happens to me if I go down, you run. You hear me? You run and you find Chen. She'll take care of you." Rex licked his hand once, then turned toward the warehouses. Body coiled, ready. Mark's phone buzzed. "Chen. I tracked those coordinates you got. Mark, that's Pier 47, condemned property. Scheduled for demolition next month. Perfect place to hide someone. Perfect place to kill someone and leave no evidence. Mark, please wait for backup. Seattle SWAT is 30 minutes out." In 30 minutes, Lily could be dead. Or you could be dead. And then who saves her? "I'm not going in guns blazing, just recon. I need to confirm they're there." "Mark. I have to, Chen. You know I have to." She was quiet. Then, "Your vest camera is live streaming to my tablet. I'll be watching. Anything goes wrong, I'm calling in every unit within 50 miles. Deal." "And Mark, come back. Sophie needs her dad." His daughter's name hit like a punch. Sophie, 8 years old, waiting at home with her grandmother, probably asleep by now, dreaming about soccer practice and school projects and all the normal things kids dreamed about, while Lily was somewhere in those warehouses, terrified, alone. "I'll come back," Mark said. "I promise." He disconnected before Chen could argue. Then he moved, fast and low. Rex at his side. The dog's training kicked in, silent running, using shadows, staying invisible. They reached the first warehouse, door hanging open, rusted hinges. Inside nothing, just empty space and broken pallets. Second warehouse, same, abandoned, forgotten. Third warehouse. Rex stopped, ears up, nose working. Mark froze, listened. Voices, faint, from inside. He moved to a broken window, peered through. 3 men, armed, AR-15s, standing guard around a metal door. One was checking his phone, one smoking, one pacing. Professional security. Not cops, not federal agents. Private contractors. The kind who asked no questions and left no witnesses. Mark pulled back, keyed his radio to Chen's frequency, whispered, "I've got eyes on 3 hostiles, armed, guarding an interior room. No sign of the Parkers yet." Chen's voice crackled back. "Mark, 3 armed tangos is a SWAT job. You need to pull back. Not until I know Lily's in there." "How are you going to confirm without being seen?" "Good question." Rex's nose was still working. The dog pulled gently on the leash, wanting to move, to investigate. Mark let him lead, around the warehouse, to a side entrance, a ventilation grate low to the ground. Rex sniffed at it, then looked at Mark. "You want to go in there?" The dog's tail wagged once. The grate was small, too small for Mark. But Rex, Chen. "I'm sending Rex in. Camera feed should give us visual confirmation." "Mark, if they see him." "They won't," he hoped. Mark pried the grate open, slowly, quietly. The metal protested but gave. Rex didn't need a command, just squeezed through, disappeared into the darkness. Mark watched through his phone, the camera feed from Rex's vest. Night vision turning everything green and grainy. The dog moved through ventilation shafts, silent as smoke, past pipes and wiring. The voices grew louder as he got closer. Then Rex stopped, peered through a ceiling vent, and there they were. Emily, Daniel, Lily, sitting on the floor, hands zip-tied. Emily had her arm around Lily. The little girl's face was buried in her mother's shoulder. Daniel looked exhausted, defeated, but alive. All 3 of them alive. Mark's chest loosened slightly. "Chen, I've got visual confirmation. All 3 targets alive. 4 hostiles visible in the room. Unknown number outside. SWAT's 20 minutes out. Just hold position." But Mark was studying the feed. The room had 1 door, 1 window high up, no other exits. If things went bad, if shooting started, that family was trapped. Chen, I need building schematics, fire exits, ventilation access, anything that gives them an escape route. Working on it, but Mark, these guys know what they're doing. They chose this location because it's a kill box. One way in, one way out. One of the guards moved closer to Lily, said something Mark couldn't hear. Lily flinched, pressed harder against her mother. The guard laughed, reached down, grabbed Lily's arm. Emily shouted something. The guard backhanded her. She went down. Daniel lurched forward. Another guard slammed him back with a rifle butt. Lily started crying, screaming for her mother. Mark's vision went red. I'm going in. Mark, no. I'm not watching them hurt that child while I sit here doing nothing. Wait for SWAT, please. Call Rex back. When he's out, I'm moving. He whistled softly. The recall command. Rex heard it through the ventilation, turned, started making his way back. But one of the guards heard something, looked up at the vent, frowned. You hear that? He raised his weapon. Mark's blood froze. The guard moved directly under the vent, peered up. Rex went perfectly still, barely breathing. The guard stared for 5 seconds. 10. Forever. Then another guard called out, Probably rats. This whole place is falling apart. The first guard lowered his weapon, moved away. Rex waited another 10 seconds, then continued his retreat. Felt like hours before the dog squeezed back through the grate. But it was probably 90 seconds. Mark pulled him through, closed the grate, held the dog close for just a moment. Good boy. Such a good boy. Rex's tail wagged. Job done. Now for the hard part. Mark studied the warehouse layout in his mind. 1 door, 4 guards inside, 3 outside. 7 total minimum, against 1 cop and 1 dog. Terrible odds. But he'd faced worse. Maybe. He couldn't actually think of when. His phone buzzed. Text from Chen schematics attached. Loading dock in back has a roll-up door. Broken lock. Could be secondary entry. Mark pulled up the schematic. The loading dock connected to a storage area. The storage area connected to the room where the Parkers were held. 2 doors between him and them. 2 chances to be spotted. 2 chances for everything to go wrong, but also 2 chances to get them out alive. Chen, I need a distraction, something to pull the outside guards away from the front entrance. What kind of distraction? I don't know. Call in a suspicious vehicle report. Fake a fire alarm. Anything. Mark, even if I pull the outside guards, you've still got 4 inside. I know. 4 trained killers with automatic weapons. I know. Against you and Rex. I know, Chen. His voice came out harsher than intended. He took a breath. I'm sorry. But I can't just wait here. That guard put his hands on Lily. If I wait, if something happens while I'm sitting here. Okay. Chen's voice was steady, calm. Okay. Give me 5 minutes. I'll create your distraction. But Mark, the second things go sideways, you get out. You hear me? Don't be a hero. I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm trying to keep a promise to a 5-year-old girl. 5 minutes, then all hell breaks loose. Mark checked his watch, started counting. He moved to the loading dock, found the broken roll-up door, tested it, squeaked slightly, but rolled up enough for him to slip under. Inside, storage area, empty shelves, smell of mildew and rust, 1 door leading to the next room, closed, no window. Mark pressed his ear against it, heard nothing. Could be empty, could have guards on the other side. Only one way to find out. 3 minutes had passed. He drew his weapon. Hand signals to Rex. The dog moved into position, ready to go through first, to take point. 4 minutes. Mark's hand touched the door handle. Cold metal. His palm was sweating. 4.5 minutes. He thought about Sophie, about the promise he'd made to Chen, about all the ways this could go wrong. Then he thought about Lily, about her small voice on the phone, about her trust. 5 minutes. Sirens erupted in the distance, multiple vehicles, coming fast. Through a crack in the warehouse wall, Mark saw the 3 outside guards react. 2 ran toward the front gate. The third pulled out his radio, started talking urgently. Mark turned the handle, pushed the door open. Empty room, just like the schematic showed. One more door between him and the Parkers. He moved across the space, Rex shadowing him, silent, professional. They reached the final door. Mark could hear voices on the other side. The guards, the family. A man speaking, "We're moving them. Van's coming in 10 minutes. Get them ready." Another voice, "What about the kid? What about her? Boss said she's dead weight. We don't need her." Emily's voice desperate, "Please, she's just a child. She doesn't know anything." That's the point. Loose ends get cut. Boss's orders. The sound of a gun being cocked. Lily screaming, "Mommy!" Mark kicked the door open. The 4 guards spun, weapons coming up. Mark fired. Center mass. First guard went down. Rex launched. 80 pounds of fury. Took down the second guard, teeth finding throat. Third guard fired. Bullets tore through the wall beside Mark's head. Mark dove. Rolled. Came up firing. 2 shots. Both hit. Guard dropped. Fourth guard had his weapon aimed at Emily. At Daniel. At Lily. "Drop it or they die!" the guard screamed. Mark froze. Gun still raised. Finger on the trigger. The guard's weapon swung toward Lily. "I said, drop it!" Time slowed. Mark saw Lily's face. Saw her tears. Saw her looking at him with those wide, trusting eyes. "Officer Mark," she whispered. The guard's finger tightened on the trigger. Mark made his choice. Dropped his weapon. Okay, you win. Just don't hurt her." The guard smiled. Too late for... Rex hit him from behind. The dog had circled. Used the chaos. Came from the blind spot. The guard's weapon discharged. Shot going wide. Hitting ceiling. Mark dove for his gun. Grabbed it. Rolled. The guard was struggling with Rex, trying to shake the dog off. Mark didn't have a clean shot. If he missed, if he hit Rex. The guard got his weapon up. Aimed at the dog. Mark fired. The guard's head snapped back. Weapon clattered to the floor. Silence crashed down. Broken only by ragged breathing. By Rex's panting. By Lily's quiet sobbing. Mark stood on shaking legs. Moved to the family. "Emily. Daniel. Are you hurt?" "No. We're okay." Emily's voice cracked. "Lily, baby? It's okay. We're safe now." Mark pulled out his knife. Cut through the zip ties, one by one. Lily threw herself at him, small arms wrapping around his neck. You came back. I promised, didn't I?" Mark's voice was thick. "I promised I'd keep you safe." "We have to move," Daniel said. He was on his feet, pale but steady. "There are more of them, outside. They'll have heard the shots." He was right. Mark could already hear shouting. Running footsteps. "Chen," Mark said into his radio. "I've got them, but we're about to have company." "SWAT's 5 minutes out. Can you hold?" "Do I have a choice?" "Back exit, through the loading dock. I've got units converging on your position, but you need to move now." Mark grabbed Lily, lifted her into his arms. "Emily, Daniel, stay behind me. Rex, take point." They ran, through the storage room, toward the loading dock. Behind them, the door burst open. Guards pouring in. Gunfire erupted. Bullets punching through walls, through boxes, through air. Mark shielded Lily with his body, felt her trembling against him, heard her praying, small voice, desperate words. They hit the loading dock. Mark set Lily down. Under the door, "Go, go, go." Emily went first, then Daniel, then Lily. Rex hesitated, looking back at Mark. "Go, protect them." The dog went, squeezing under the door. Mark turned, fired 3 shots back toward the pursuing guards, gave the family time to get clear. Then he rolled under the door, just as bullets tore through the space where he'd been standing. Outside, cold night air, sound of sirens getting closer. "This way," Chen's voice through his radio. "Northeast corner units are there." They ran. Emily carrying Lily now. Daniel right beside them. Mark and Rex bringing up the rear. More shouting behind them. The guards weren't giving up. Then headlights. Multiple vehicles. Screeching to a stop. Seattle SWAT. Federal agents. A cavalry of backup that Mark had never been so happy to see. "Freeze, drop your weapons." The pursuing guards skidded to a stop. Realized they were surrounded. Most dropped their weapons. Raised their hands. One didn't. Raised his rifle instead. The SWAT team didn't hesitate. The guard went down in a hail of return fire. Then it was over. Really over. Officers swarming the area, securing the scene, taking the surviving guards into custody. Mark collapsed against a patrol car. Legs finally giving out. Adrenaline draining away, leaving him hollow, exhausted. Rex pressed against him. The dog's breathing was heavy but steady. No injuries. Thank God. Lily appeared in front of him. Emily holding her hand. "Officer Mark." Lily's voice was so small. "Are the bad people gone?" Mark looked up at her. At this child who'd been through hell. Who'd been brave beyond her years. "Yes, sweetheart. They're gone. You're safe now. All of you." Lily smiled. Small, tired, but real. Then she did something that broke Mark completely. She reached into her pocket, pulled out something small, placed it in his hand. Another button. From Mr. Buttons. "Mommy saved this one," Lily said. "When they took us, she said you'd need two. One for courage, one for hope." Mark's vision blurred, his throat closed. Emily knelt beside him. "You saved our lives, all of us. I don't know how to—" "You don't need to thank me," Mark managed. Just take care of her. Keep her safe." "We will. I promise." Federal agents were approaching, ready to take the Parker family into actual protective custody, the kind with oversight, with multiple layers of security, the kind that couldn't be compromised. As they led the family away, Lily looked back over her shoulder. Waved. Mark waved back, held on to that image, burned it into his memory. A little girl, safe, alive, waving goodbye. Chen appeared beside him, helped him to his feet. "You did it. Against all odds, you actually did it." "We did it. You, me, Rex. All of us. The brass is going to lose their minds when they hear what you pulled off tonight. Let them. As long as that family makes it to trial, as long as Lily gets to grow up, that's all that matters." Chen smiled. "You sound like a hero." "I'm just a cop with a good dog." Rex's tail wagged at that. The dog leaned against Mark's leg. Warm. Solid. Real. Mark's hand closed around both buttons. The ones from Mr. Buttons. The bear that had started this whole nightmare. But also the bear that had saved them. That had given them the evidence they needed. That had brought them all together. "Come on," Chen said. "Let's get you checked out by EMTs. Then Morrison wants a full debrief." "Of course he does." As they walked toward the ambulances, Mark looked back at the warehouse. At the place where 4 trained killers had held an innocent family. Where everything could have gone so wrong. But didn't. Because sometimes, just sometimes, the good guys won. And sometimes a dog's instincts and a cop's promise were enough to change everything. Mark's phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. He opened it. "Well done, Officer Jensen. You've earned what comes next." "Chen. Who has this number?" "What do you mean?" He showed her the text. Her face went pale. "Mark, that's the same number, from before. The one who gave you the coordinates." "So our mysterious helper is still watching. Or our mysterious enemy is playing a longer game." They both looked at each other, the same thought occurring to them simultaneously. This wasn't over. Not really. They'd saved the Parkers, secured the evidence, captured operatives. But the people at the top, the ones who'd orchestrated everything, they were still out there, still watching, still planning. And according to that text, they had something new in store. Mark looked down at Rex. "Looks like we're not done yet, boy." Rex's ears pricked forward, body tensing, because somewhere in the distance, another siren was starting to wail, and this time it sounded like a warning. The siren grew louder, closer. Not an ambulance, not fire department. Something else. Chen's tablet lit up, her face drained of color. "Mark, we've got incoming federal agents, not Seattle field office, not local FBI." "Then who?" "Department of Defense. And they're not asking permission. They're taking jurisdiction." "Over what? The Parkers are already in protective custody. The operatives are in custody. What's left to take?" Chen didn't answer, just stared at her screen. Mark grabbed the tablet. "Read the orders scrolling across it. All evidence seized. All witnesses transferred to federal holding. All local law enforcement ordered to stand down immediately." And at the bottom, a name he recognized. Colonel Richard Vance, Defense Intelligence Agency. "That's not standard protocol," Chen said. "DIA doesn't handle domestic operations. They don't—" "Unless it's not domestic," Mark finished. His stomach dropped. "Unless what Daniel found wasn't just defense contractors selling weapons. Unless it goes higher. International." The first black SUV screeched to a stop 20 feet away. Doors opened. 6 agents stepped out. Body armor, weapons, military precision. The lead agent approached, credentials already out. "Officer Jensen, Officer Chen, I'm Agent Wolf, DIA. You're both ordered to surrender all evidence related to the Parker investigation. That includes the data recovered from the airport server room, immediately." "That evidence is already with the FBI, Chen said. "Not anymore. It's been transferred to our custody." "On whose authority?" "On authority you don't have clearance to question." Wolf's eyes were cold, professional. "The Parker family is also being transferred. They'll be debriefed and relocated under federal protection." "They've been through enough," Mark said. His hand was on Rex's collar. The dog had started growling. Low, continuous. "That little girl needs her parents, not another interrogation." "The little girl will be fine. This is National Security Officer Jensen, not your jurisdiction. Everything that happened today was my jurisdiction. Those people trusted me. And we're taking over from here. You did your job. Now let us do ours." Mark's jaw clenched. Every instinct screamed that something was wrong, that these people weren't here to protect the Parkers. They were here to bury them. "I want to see them," Mark said. "The family, before you take them." "Not possible." "Then I'm not handing over anything." Wolf's expression hardened. "You don't have a choice. Your captain has already been notified. You're off this case, effective immediately." "Mark." Chen's voice, quiet, warning. "We can't fight DIA. We don't have the authority." She was right. Mark knew she was right, but the text message burned in his pocket. "Well done, Officer Jensen. You've earned what comes next." What had he earned? What came next? More federal agents were arriving, surrounding the scene, taking custody of the captured operatives, sealing off the warehouse. Within minutes, the entire operation was locked down. No local access, no visibility. Just like the airport explosion, just like the safe house disappearance. Evidence vanishing. Witnesses silenced. Truth buried. "Officer Jensen," Wolf stepped closer. "I understand your frustration, but this is bigger than you realize. The data Daniel Parker recovered, it doesn't just implicate defense contractors. It exposes a network that spans multiple agencies, multiple countries. If this information becomes public without proper vetting, then people die," Mark finished. "I get it. But those people almost died today. That little girl almost died. And every time someone takes over this case, more people end up dead. which is why we're securing them properly, with resources you don't have. Like the resources that kept the safe house secure, like the resources that prevented the federal building explosion. Wolf's face didn't change. I can't discuss operational details, but I can tell you this. The people who orchestrated today's events are still out there, and they will try again, unless we cut off their funding, their support network, their political protection. That takes time. Coordination. Things that don't happen with local police involvement. Mark wanted to argue, wanted to fight. But what could he say? Wolf was right about one thing: this was bigger than a local K-9 unit could handle. But that didn't make walking away feel any less like betrayal. I want confirmation, Mark said finally. That the Parker family is safe. That they're really in protective custody. Not just disappeared. Wolf studied him for a moment, then pulled out his phone, made a call, spoke quietly. When he turned back, he handed Mark the phone. 30 seconds. Mark took it. Hello. Officer Mark. Lily's voice, bright, relieved. The nice agent said you wanted to talk to me. The tightness in Mark's chest loosened slightly. Hey there, Lily. Are you okay? Are your mom and dad with you? Yes, we're all together. They said we're going somewhere safe, somewhere with a playground. Despite everything, Mark smiled. That sounds good. You deserve a playground. Are you coming too? His throat closed. No, sweetheart. I have to stay here. But you're going to be safe now. Really safe. Will I see you again? Maybe. Someday. But Lily, I need you to promise me something. What? Stay brave, like you were today, and take care of Mr. Button's buttons, both of them. I will, I promise. A pause. Then, Officer Mark. Thank you for being my hero. The call disconnected before Mark could respond. He handed the phone back to Wolf. Couldn't speak. Couldn't trust his voice. Wolf took the phone. His expression had softened slightly. She'll be safe. You have my word. The word of a federal agent. Forgive me if that doesn't mean much after today. Fair enough. But Officer Jensen, if you really care about that family, you'll walk away. Stop investigating. Stop asking questions. Because the people behind this, they don't just kill witnesses. They kill anyone connected to witnesses, family, friends, colleagues. The threat was clear. Keep digging, and people Mark loved would become targets. Sophie, his daughter, 8 years old, asleep at home. Are you threatening me? Mark asked quietly. I'm warning you, there's a difference. Wolf gestured to his team. They started moving, securing evidence, loading vehicles. Go home, Officer Jensen. Hug your daughter. Be grateful you survived today, and forget everything you think you learned. The federal agents left as quickly as they'd arrived, black SUVs disappearing into the night, taking the Parker family, taking the evidence, taking the truth. Chen stood beside Mark in the sudden silence. What do we do? What can we do? We're outranked, outmaneuvered, out of options. So we just give up. Mark looked down at Rex. The dog was still tense, still watching the direction the vehicles had gone, still trusting Mark to make the right call. No, Mark said finally. We don't give up, but we can't fight them head on. We need to be smarter. Meaning we find out who sent that text message. The one who gave me the warehouse coordinates. Someone knows more than they're saying. Someone who's not part of the official investigation. That could be a trap. Everything today has been a trap. At least this one might give us answers. Chen pulled out her tablet, started typing. I can try to trace the number, but if it's a burner phone or routed through proxy servers, try anyway, and Chen pull everything we have on Colonel Vance. DIA doesn't just show up for routine operations. Vance being here personally, that means something. On it. She paused. Mark, if Wolf's telling the truth, if these people really do go after families. I know. I'm putting Sophie in danger just by staying involved. Mark's chest ached. But if I walk away, if I let them bury this, then Lily's sacrifice means nothing. Everything she went through today, everything her family risked, it all disappears. Sometimes things disappear for good reason. And sometimes things disappear because powerful people want to protect themselves. Mark started walking toward his vehicle. I'm going back to the airport. Davis is still in custody there. He was undercover for 5 years. He knows things, names, protocols. Maybe he knows who's really pulling the strings. Davis lawyered up hours ago. He's not talking. Then I'll make him talk. Mark, I'm not asking you to come with me. You've got a family too, a husband, kids. I understand if you need to step back. Chen was quiet for a long moment. Then she closed her tablet. My husband's a Marine. He knew what he signed up for when he married a cop. And my kids, they deserve to grow up in a world where people like us don't just walk away when things get hard. Mark smiled, tired, grateful. Then let's go talk to a traitor. The airport was still closed when they arrived. Federal investigators everywhere, yellow tape, temporary lighting. The terminal looked like a war zone. Morrison met them at the security checkpoint. Jensen, Chen, what the hell are you two doing back here? DIA gave explicit orders. We need to talk to Davis, Mark said. Davis is in federal custody, transferred an hour ago, along with everyone else connected to this case. Mark's blood ran cold. Where? They didn't say, just loaded him into a transport and left. Let me guess. Black SUVs, DIA credentials. Morrison's face darkened. How did you know? Because they're cleaning up, removing anyone who can testify, anyone who can connect the dots. That's a serious accusation, Jensen. It's the truth, and you know it. Otherwise, you wouldn't look so worried right now. Morrison glanced around, lowered his voice. In my office, now, both of you. They followed him through the terminal, past evidence markers, past bloodstains the cleaning crews hadn't reached yet, past the spot where Lily had stood surrounded by 14 dogs. It felt like years ago, not hours. Morrison's temporary office was cramped, cluttered with files and reports and coffee cups. He closed the door, drew the blinds, then turned to face them. What I'm about to tell you stays in this room. Understood? Mark and Chen both nodded. I got a call 20 minutes ago, from someone in DOJ, someone I trust. They said the Parker case is being buried, not investigated. Buried. Every piece of evidence we collected today, the data chip, the bear, the testimony from witnesses, it's all being classified under national security. Which means it'll never see a courtroom, Chen said. Which means the people responsible will never be held accountable. Morrison's jaw clenched. My contact said there are elements within the Defense Department who've been running unauthorized weapons sales for years. Billions of dollars. But they've got protection. High-level protection. Senators. Cabinet members. People who can make problems disappear. And Daniel Parker was going to expose them, Mark said. Daniel Parker was going to destroy them. The data he recovered, it includes bank records, shell companies, communication logs, everything needed to prove conspiracy at the highest levels of government. So they're making sure that data never goes public. Exactly. And anyone who knows about it becomes a liability. Mark's hands clenched into fists. The Parkers. Davis. Us. My contact said to watch our backs. Said there have been 3 suspicious deaths in the last week. All people tangentially connected to Redstone Defense Solutions. All ruled accidents or suicides. Jesus, Chen whispered. Morrison pulled out a file folder, set it on the desk. This is everything I could copy before the Fed seized our servers. Reports, photos, data analysis. It's not much, but it's something. You're giving this to us, Mark asked. I'm trusting you not to get yourselves killed with it, and to be very, very careful about who you share it with. Mark picked up the folder. Inside printouts of security footage. Transcripts from Davis's initial interrogation. Financial records traced back to Redstone. And one photograph that made his blood freeze. Sarah Mitchell. The woman from the van. The ghost operative. Standing next to Colonel Richard Vance. Both of them smiling. At what looked like a formal military function. "When was this taken?" Mark asked. 2 years ago. Pentagon Charity Gala. Mitchell was Vance's +1, listed as a DoD civilian contractor. "She's DIA," Chen breathed. "She's been DIA this whole time." "Or something worse," Morrison said. "My contact thinks she's part of a private security outfit. Former intelligence officers who went freelance. They handle jobs that official agencies can't touch. Wet work, intimidation, evidence disposal." "And Vance hired her," Mark said, "or works with her. The connection's murky, but it's there." Morrison looked at them both. "This is the point where I tell you to walk away. Let the feds handle it. Go home. Forget everything." "But," Mark prompted. "But I've been a cop for 30 years, and I know what it looks like when the fix is in. When powerful people are covering their asses at the expense of justice." Morrison's voice was hard, bitter. "That little girl trusted you, Jensen. Trusted us. And we owe her better than just walking away." "What are you suggesting?" "I'm suggesting you take this file. Find someone you trust. Someone with the authority to bypass DIA and DOJ. Someone who can blow this wide open before more people die." "Like who?" Chen asked. "Everyone with that kind of authority is either compromised or scared." "Then find someone who's not scared." Morrison opened his drawer, pulled out a business card, handed it to Mark. "This is a reporter, Washington Post. Investigative team. She's been looking into Redstone for months. Has sources inside Defense Department." Mark looked at the card. "Sarah Brennan, Senior Investigative Reporter. You're telling me to go to the press?" "I'm telling you to do what you think is right, whatever that means." Morrison stood. "Now get out of my office. I never saw you. This conversation never happened. And if anyone asks, I ordered you both to take personal leave and stay the hell away from this case." "Thank you," Mark said quietly. "Don't thank me. Just don't get killed. I don't want to explain to your daughter why her father didn't come home." Outside the airport, Mark and Chen sat in his vehicle, the file folder between them, the business card in Mark's hand. "We do this, there's no going back," Chen said. "We become targets, officially." "We're already targets. Wolf made that clear." "Yeah, but there's a difference between being warned off and actively fighting back. You call this reporter, you hand over that file, you're declaring war on people who kill witnesses for a living." Mark looked at Rex in the back seat. The dog was resting, finally relaxed after the longest day of his life. "What would you do?" Mark asked. "If it was your kids, if someone told you to walk away while children were in danger." Chen smiled sadly. "I'd probably do something stupid and heroic. Which is exactly what you're about to do. So you're with me. Someone has to keep you from getting killed immediately. Might as well be me." Mark started the engine. "Then let's go find a reporter who's either brave or crazy enough to take on the Defense Department." His phone buzzed. Another text from the unknown number. "You're getting closer. But there's one more piece you're missing. Check Davis's personnel file. His emergency contact. You'll understand." Mark showed Chen the text. "How do they know we're looking into Davis?" she asked. "Either they're watching us, or they're on our side, feeding us information." "But why?" "If they know all this, why not just tell us? Why the breadcrumbs?" Chen pulled out her tablet, started accessing personnel files. "Maybe they can't tell us directly. Maybe they're being watched too." She found Davis's file, scrolled to emergency contacts, and there it was. Emergency contact Colonel Richard Vance, relationship uncle. Mark's world tilted. Davis is Vance's nephew. Which means Vance knew, had to know. His own nephew was undercover in our department for 5 years, and he never said anything. Because Vance was the one who put him there. To monitor the investigation, to make sure nothing leaked that could hurt his operation. And when Davis got caught when he became a liability, Vance had him transferred to federal custody, where he could be silenced permanently. The pieces were falling into place. Terrible. Inevitable. "We need to find Davis," Mark said. "Before Vance does. If he's still alive, he's the only witness who can directly connect Vance to the conspiracy. Mark, even if we find him, what then? We can't protect him. We don't have the resources. Then we get him to someone who does. We get him to the reporter. Let her decide what to do with him." Chen was already typing. Pulling up federal transfer records, tracking Davis's transport vehicle. Got it. He was transferred to a federal holding facility in Tacoma, 40 minutes from here. Call them. Confirm he's still there. Chen dialed. Waited. Her face went pale. "Mark, the facility says they never received a transfer. Davis's transport never arrived. When was it supposed to get there?" 2 hours ago. Mark's hands tightened on the wheel. "Pull up the GPS on the transport vehicle." Chen worked her tablet, pulled up tracking data. Last ping was on Route 167, near the industrial district. Then, nothing. Signal went dead. Someone intercepted them, just like they intercepted the FBI transport with the data chip. If Davis is dead, then we've got nothing. No witness, no testimony, just a file folder and theories. Mark's jaw clenched. But if there's even a chance he's still alive, then we're walking into an ambush. Again. You got a better plan? Chen was quiet for a moment. Then, "Yeah, we call the reporter first, tell her everything, set up a dead man switch. If something happens to us, she publishes anyway. That won't protect us." "No, but it'll make sure the truth gets out." "Which is the point, right?" Mark looked at the business card again. Sarah Brennan, Washington Post. He made the call. It rang 3 times. Then Brennan. "Ms. Brennan, my name is Officer Mark Jensen. I'm calling about Redstone Defense Solutions." Silence on the other end. Then, "How did you get this number?" "That's not important. What's important is I have information. Evidence of weapons trafficking, political corruption, murder. And people are dying to keep it buried." "People are always dying, Officer Jensen. That doesn't make it news. What if I told you I have the names of everyone involved, bank records, communication logs, testimony from witnesses?" Another pause. "I'd say you're either very brave or very stupid. Possibly both." "Probably both. Can we meet?" "Not on the phone, and not anywhere obvious. There's a coffee shop on Pike Street. Closes at midnight. Be there in 30 minutes. Come alone." "I'm bringing my partner." "Then don't come at all. She's already seen everything I have. If I'm compromised, so is she. You want this story, you get both of us." Brennan was quiet. Then, "Fine. 30 minutes. And Officer Jensen, if this is some kind of setup, if you're wired or working with the people you claim to be exposing, I will burn you so thoroughly you'll never work in law enforcement again." "Fair enough. See you in 30. He disconnected. Looked at Chen. "We're on." "Great. Now we just have to survive the next 30 minutes without getting killed. And find Davis. And get him to Brennan alive." "Is that all?" Chen's voice was dry. "For a second I thought this might be difficult." Mark smiled despite everything. "You know what the worst part is?" "What?" "I'm starting to like you, Chen, which means you're probably going to die helping me." "Thanks for the vote of confidence." Mark started driving, toward the last known location of Davis's transport vehicle. Toward answers or death. Maybe both. Rex stirred in the back seat, lifted his head, body tensing again. The dog sensed what was coming. Another fight, another crisis, another impossible choice. But this time Mark thought maybe they'd finally get to the truth, even if the truth killed them. His phone buzzed one more time. Unknown number. "Good luck, Officer Jensen. You're going to need it." Then nothing. Just the road ahead, and the weight of 2 buttons from a teddy bear in his pocket. One for courage. One for hope. Mark pressed harder on the gas. 30 minutes to meet the reporter. 20 minutes to find Davis. 10 minutes to decide if any of this was worth dying for. But he already knew the answer. Lily's voice echoed in his memory. "Will I see you again?" Maybe. Someday. He'd keep that promise. Somehow. Even if it killed him. The industrial district was dead quiet. No traffic. No lights. Just empty warehouses and the ghost of Davis's last GPS ping. Mark killed the headlights. Coasted to a stop behind a shipping container. Rex was already alert in the back seat, ears forward, body coiled. "There." Chen pointed. "Transport vehicle, 200 yards. The federal transport sat abandoned in the middle of the road, doors open, no movement. "Could be a trap," Chen said. "Everything today has been a trap." Mark checked his weapon. Full magazine, last spare already loaded earlier. "Stay here. Call if you see anything." "Mark? Someone has to get to that reporter. If this goes bad, you run. You take that file, and you run." "And leave you? And make sure Lily didn't go through hell for nothing." Chen's jaw tightened. "I hate when you're right." Mark slipped out. Rex followed. Silent. Professional. They moved through shadows toward the transport. 50 yards out, Mark saw the blood. Dark stains on the pavement. Drag marks leading away from the vehicle. His pulse hammered. "Rex! Track!" The dog's nose went to work, following the scent. The trail led between 2 warehouses, into darkness. Mark's radio crackled. Chen's voice. Barely a whisper. "Mark, vehicle approaching from the south. No lights. Moving slow." "How many?" "Can't tell, but they're searching for something." "Copy. Going silent." He clicked off the radio. Hand signals to Rex. The dog understood. No barking, no noise. Pure stealth. They followed the blood trail to a loading dock. The door was ajar. More blood on the concrete. Mark pushed through, gun raised. Inside Davis, zip-tied to a chair, face beaten. Blood running from his nose and mouth, but alive. Barely conscious, but alive. "Davis!" Mark moved closer. Kept his weapon up, scanning for threats. "Can you hear me?" Davis's head lifted. One eye was swollen shut, the other focused on Mark. "Jensen." His voice was thick, slurred. You're dead. They said, you're dead." "Not yet." "Who did this?" "Vance. His people. They wanted names, wanted to know. What I told you." "What did you tell them?" "Nothing." "Told them nothing." Davis coughed. Blood speckled his lips. "But they're coming back, to finish it." Mark pulled out his knife, started cutting the zip ties. "We're getting you out of here." "Why?" Davis's good eye filled with tears. "Why save me? I betrayed you. Betrayed everyone." "Because you're the only one who can connect Vance to this. The only witness." "They'll kill me. They'll kill my family. My daughter." "Your daughter's already in protective custody. Real protective custody. Federal marshals. Morrison arranged it an hour ago." Davis's face crumpled. He did that? After everything He's a better man than you deserved. Now get up. We're moving." But Davis didn't move, just stared at Mark. "You don't understand. Vance isn't the top. He's middle management. There are people above him. Senators, cabinet members, people you can't touch. Then we'll burn them all down, starting with Vance. You can't. You don't have the resources, the authority. They'll... Rex's growl cut him off. Low. Warning. Mark spun, aimed at the door. It burst open. 3 men. Tactical gear. Weapons raised. Mark fired first. Center mass. Lead man went down. Second man returned fire. Bullets tore through the space where Mark had been standing. But he'd already moved. Rolled. Came up behind a stack of pallets. Rex launched at the third man. Took him down. Teeth finding throat. The second man swung his weapon toward the dog. Mark fired. 2 shots. Both hit. The man dropped. Silence crashed down, broken only by Rex's panting, by Davis's ragged breathing, by Mark's hammering pulse. More coming, Davis choked out. Backup team. They're everywhere. Mark grabbed Davis, hauled him to his feet. Then we run. Now. They made it 10 feet before the warehouse exploded with gunfire. Muzzle flashes from every direction, bullets punching through walls, through boxes, through air. Mark shielded Davis with his body, returned fire, dropped one shooter, then another. But there were too many, at least 6, maybe more. Chen! Mark shouted into his radio. Need extraction, north side, now. On my way. Rex was barking, furious, protective, positioning himself between Mark and the incoming fire. Rex, cover! The dog obeyed, ducked behind a concrete column, but his eyes never left Mark. A bullet grazed Mark's shoulder. Pain exploded, hot, immediate. He stumbled, nearly dropped Davis. Leave me, Davis gasped. Save yourself. Shut up and move. They reached the north wall, a service door. Locked. Mark kicked it. Once, twice. The lock held. Footsteps behind them, getting closer. Mark turned, raised his weapon. 3 rounds left, maybe 4. Not enough. The door burst inward. Chen, gun drawn. Get in the car, go! Mark didn't argue, pushed Davis through. Rex followed. Mark came last. Chen's vehicle was running, engine roaring. She floored it the second Mark's door closed. Gunfire chased them. Back window shattered. Glass everywhere. Down, Chen shouted. They ducked. She drove like a woman possessed, weaving through containers, between warehouses, toward the main road. They're following. Mark checked the side mirror. 2 vehicles, black SUVs, closing fast. I see them. Chen's hands were white on the wheel. Mark, we're not going to make it to the reporter. Not like this. Then we improvise. Improvise what? Mark's phone buzzed. The unknown number. He answered on speaker. What? The voice that came through wasn't unknown anymore. Mark recognized it immediately. Colonel Richard Vance. Officer Jensen, you're making this very difficult. Good. That's the idea. You have something that belongs to me. Officer Davis. I'd like him back. I bet you would. So you can kill him. Not happening. I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to protect him. From people who want to use him as a weapon against national security. You mean people who want to expose your weapons trafficking operation? Vance was quiet for a moment. You don't understand what you're interfering with. The work we do, the decisions we make, they keep this country safe. Sometimes that requires compromises, arrangements that civilians wouldn't understand. I understand you're a traitor, selling weapons to foreign governments, getting people killed. I'm a realist. The world is more complicated than good guys and bad guys. Sometimes you have to deal with bad people to prevent worse outcomes. That's a pretty speech. Save it for your trial. There won't be a trial, Officer Jensen, because I'm about to make you an offer. You give me Davis. You give me the evidence you copied. You walk away. And everyone you love stays alive. Mark's blood turned to ice. You threatening my daughter. I'm protecting her. By giving you a chance to walk away. But that offer expires in 5 minutes. After that, what you kill a cop's kid. You think that won't bring every law enforcement agency in the country down on you? I think accidents happen, house fires, car crashes, tragic, unavoidable, and completely untraceable back to me. Chen's face had gone pale. Mark could see her thinking about her own kids, her own family. Chen, Mark said quietly. Take Davis to the reporter. I'll handle Vance. Mark, no. That's an order. You're not my boss. Then consider it a request from someone who doesn't want your kids growing up without a mother. Davis spoke up, his voice weak but clear. Jensen's right. I'll testify. I'll tell the reporter everything, but Chen has to get me there alive. And what are you going to do? Chen asked Mark. Buy you time. He opened the door, while the vehicle was still moving, rolled out onto the pavement. Rex jumped after him. Chen screamed his name, but she kept driving, because she understood. Someone had to get Davis to safety, and Mark was the distraction. The two SUVs screeched to a stop. Operatives poured out, 6, 8, 10, all armed, all focused on Mark. He raised his weapon. Come on then, let's finish this. The lead operative smiled, raised his radio. Colonel, we have Jensen. What are your orders? Vance's voice crackled back. Take him alive. He still has value. Value? Like Mark was a commodity. A bargaining chip. Maybe he was. The operatives moved in. Professional. Coordinated. No rushed shots. No mistakes. Mark fired. Dropped one. Rex took down another. But there were too many. They flanked him. Surrounded him. An operative tackled Mark from behind. Drove him to the ground. His weapons skittered away. Rex attacked the operative, gave Mark a second to break free, but another operative was there. And another. Grabbing Mark's arms, forcing him down. Rex, run, go! The dog hesitated. Every instinct told him to fight, to protect his handler. But Mark had given an order, and Rex always obeyed. The dog turned, ran, disappeared into the shadows. The operative zip-tied Mark's hands, hauled him to his feet. Blood ran from his split lip. His shoulder throbbed where the bullet had grazed him. But he smiled, because Chen and Davis were gone. Heading to the reporter. The evidence would get out. The truth would surface. Vance could kill him. But he couldn't stop what was coming. The lead operative pushed Mark toward one of the SUVs. You just made the worst mistake of your life. No, Mark said. You did, when you underestimated a cop and his dog. They took him to the airport, to the same warehouse where everything had started, where Lily had stood surrounded by dogs, where the bear had changed everything. Vance was waiting. No tactical gear, just an expensive suit. Calm expression, like this was a business meeting. Officer Jensen, we meet at last. Mark said nothing, just stared. You're angry. I understand. But anger clouds judgment, makes people do stupid things, like throwing away their lives for a traitor and a defense contractor's stolen data. Daniel Parker isn't a traitor. He's a whistleblower. There's a difference. Is there? He stole classified information, endangered national security operations, put lives at risk. The only lives at risk are the ones you're trying to silence. Vance walked closer. You think you're a hero. Think you're fighting for justice. But heroes are just people who don't understand the bigger picture. The world you're trying to protect, it's held together by compromises, by deals. By people like me making difficult choices so people like you can sleep at night. And selling weapons, that's a difficult choice. It's a necessary one. We sell to allies who need protection, who need leverage against enemies that would destroy them. Yes, sometimes those weapons end up in the wrong hands, but the alternative, leaving our allies defenseless, is worse. You're not protecting allies. You're making money. Billions of dollars while people die. Vance's expression hardened. Everyone dies, Officer Jensen. The question is whether their deaths mean something, whether they serve a greater purpose. What purpose does Lily serve? What greater good comes from threatening a 5-year-old girl? Leverage. Her father testifies she and her mother suffer. Simple equation. You're a monster. I'm a patriot. And when this is over, when your body is found in some tragic accident, people will remember you as a good cop who made bad choices, who got involved in things he didn't understand. A cautionary tale. Mark's phone rang, still in his pocket. Vance gestured to an operative. The man pulled it out, answered it, put it on speaker. Chen's voice. Mark, are you there? He's here, Vance said. But unavailable at the moment. Who is this? Silence. Then, this is Officer Chen, and you need to know something, Colonel Vance. We made it. Davis is with the reporter, right now, telling her everything. Every name, every transaction, every murder. It's over. Vance's face didn't change. The reporter won't publish. We have leverage on her. Family, sources. She'll bury the story. Maybe she would have, but we didn't just go to her. We went to 3 reporters, Washington Post, New York Times, Guardian. All 3 have the evidence. All 3 are running stories in tomorrow's editions. You can't threaten all of them. You can't silence everyone. Vance's jaw tightened. You're bluffing. Am I? Check the news wires. Check your secure channels. It's already breaking. Defense Department corruption, weapons trafficking, murder conspiracies. Your name is in every article, your photo on every front page. By morning, you'll be the most wanted man in America. For the first time, Vance looked uncertain. Pulled out his own phone, checked something. His face went pale. No, he whispered. No, this isn't possible. It's happening, Chen said. Right now. And Colonel, there's one more thing. That warehouse you're in, we've had it surrounded for the last 10 minutes. FBI, federal marshals, Homeland Security, agents who aren't on your payroll, agents who want you alive, so you can testify against everyone above you, everyone you protected. They're all going down, starting with you. Vance looked around, through the warehouse windows, saw the vehicles, the agents, the spotlight suddenly flooding the building. A loudspeaker boomed. Colonel Richard Vance, this is the FBI. You are surrounded. Release your hostage and surrender immediately. Vance grabbed Mark, pulled him close, used him as a shield, drew a sidearm, pressed it to Mark's head. You think I'm going to prison? Vance's voice had lost its calm. You think I'm going to let them destroy everything I built, everyone I protected? It's over, Mark said quietly. You lost. No, I take you with me. Show them what happens to people who interfere. The gun pressed harder. Mark felt the cold metal against his temple, felt his pulse hammering, thought about Sophie, his daughter, who would grow up without him, thought about Lily, who would at least grow up safe. That was worth something, worth everything. Do it, Mark said. Pull the trigger. Prove you're exactly the monster everyone's about to read about. Vance's hand shook, his breathing ragged. Then a bark, sharp, urgent, familiar. Rex. The dog burst through a broken window. 80 pounds of fury and loyalty and love. Vance turned, tried to aim at the dog. Mark moved, threw himself backward, knocked Vance off balance. The gun discharged, shot going wide, hitting ceiling. Rex hit Vance center mass, drove him to the ground, teeth finding wrist. The gun clattered away. Mark rolled, grabbed it, aimed at Vance. Federal agents poured through every entrance. FBI, hands up now! Vance lay on the ground. Rex standing over him, the dog's teeth bared, waiting for permission to finish it. Rex, Mark said softly. Stand down, boy. He's done. The dog backed off, reluctantly, but came to Mark's side. Mark knelt, buried his face in Rex's fur. Good boy. Such a good boy. Best partner I ever had. Agents cuffed Vance, read him his rights, led him away. Chen ran in, saw Mark, alive, collapsed against a wall in relief. You insane bastard! You almost died! Almost only counts in horseshoes. Mark stood, legs shaking. Davis. Safe. Already gave his full statement. 3 hours of testimony. Names, dates, bank accounts, everything. And the Parker family. Real protective custody now. New identities, new location, they're safe. Lily. Chen smiled. She wanted me to tell you something. She said, "Thank you for keeping your promise." Mark's throat tightened. His hand went to his pocket. To the 2 buttons from Mr. Buttons. One for courage, one for hope. He'd needed both today, and somehow impossibly, they'd been enough. 3 weeks later, Mark stood outside his daughter's school, waiting for dismissal. Rex sat beside him. The dog had become something of a celebrity. Kids always wanted to pet him. Parents wanted photos. But today was different. Today a car pulled up. Federal plates, tinted windows. The back door opened. Emily stepped out. Then Daniel. Then Lily. Mark's heart stopped. What are you're supposed to be in protective custody? We are, Emily said. But they let us come back, just for today. To say thank you, properly. Lily ran to him, threw her arms around his waist. Officer Mark, I missed you. He knelt, hugged her back. I missed you too, sweetheart. How are you? Good. We have a new house, and a playground, and Daddy's home now, every day. Daniel approached, extended his hand. I owe you my family's life. I don't have words for that. Mark shook his hand. You gave us the truth. That's payment enough. The trials start next month. Vance, his people, the senators and cabinet members who protected them, all of them, because of what you did. Because of what we all did. You, Davis, Chen, Morrison, even Rex. At his name, Rex's tail wagged. Lily giggled, knelt down to pet him. Rex is a hero, the best hero. He is, Mark agreed. But you know what? So are you. You were so brave. Braver than any adult I know. Mommy says brave people feel scared, but do the right thing anyway. Your mommy's right. Emily's eyes filled with tears. We're leaving again after this. Different names, different city. We won't be able to contact you. Won't be able to let you know we're okay. I know. But I needed you to know we're alive because of you. We get to be a family because you didn't give up. Because you kept your promise to a little girl you barely knew. That's what cops do, Mark said. We make promises, and we keep them. Lily reached into her pocket, pulled out something small, held it out to Mark, the last button from Mr. Buttons. This one's for love, she said. So you remember that heroes can love people too, that it's okay to care. Mark took the button, held it with the other 2. 3 pieces of a bear that had changed everything. Thank you, Lily. She hugged him one more time. Then her parents led her back to the car. The door closed. The vehicle pulled away. Mark watched until it disappeared, until there was nothing left but the memory of a little girl's trust and a family's gratitude. Chen walked up beside him. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. The brass wants to give you a medal, public ceremony, photo opportunity, the whole thing. Tell them no thanks. That's what I figured. So I told them you'd accept a private commendation and a week of paid leave instead. Mark smiled. You know me too well. Someone has to. Chen paused. Morrison's retiring, taking his pension. Says 30 years is enough. Can't blame him. They're offering me his position, captain of airport security. You should take it. I will. On one condition. What's that? You transfer to my unit, you and Rex, permanently. Mark looked down at his dog. Rex looked back, steady, loyal, ready for whatever came next. Deal. The school bell rang. Kids poured out. Sophie appeared, saw her dad, ran to him. Dad, you came? Of course I came. I always come. Can we get ice cream? Sure thing. Sophie noticed Rex, squealed, threw her arms around the dog's neck. Rex, did you have a good day? Rex's tail wagged so hard his whole body shook. Mark watched his daughter, safe, happy, innocent, growing up in a world that was slightly better because people had refused to look away. Because truth had won. This time. That night, Mark sat on his porch, Sophie asleep inside, Rex resting at his feet. He took out the 3 buttons, lined them up on the porch railing. Courage, hope, love. Simple pieces of plastic and thread, but they'd carried him through the darkest day of his career. Through moments when giving up would have been easier, when walking away would have been safer. His phone buzzed. Text message, unknown number, one last time. The world needs more people like you, Officer Jensen. People who remember that badges aren't just for authority. They're for protection, for service, for keeping promises to children who have no one else to trust. Thank you for being one of the good ones. Mark never found out who sent those messages, never learned if it was a whistleblower, an insider, a guardian angel watching from the shadows. But it didn't matter, because the truth had gotten out, justice had been served, a family was safe, and a 5-year-old girl got to keep her parents, got to grow up, got to believe that when things got scary, heroes would come. Heroes with badges, heroes with 4 legs. Heroes who understood that sometimes the most important promises are made to people you barely know, to children who trust you with their lives, to families who have nothing left but hope. Rex stirred, lifted his head, looked at Mark with those steady, intelligent eyes. What do you think, boy? Did we do okay? Rex's tail wagged once. Yes. Yeah, I think so too. Mark stood, gathered the 3 buttons, put them in a small box on his shelf, where they'd stay, a reminder, a promise, a piece of something bigger than one day or one case. A reminder that courage wasn't about being fearless. It was about being scared and showing up anyway. That hope wasn't about certainty. It was about believing things could be better even when all evidence suggested otherwise. That love wasn't weakness. It was the strength that kept you fighting when every logical reason said to quit. Somewhere in America, under a different name in a different city, Lily was probably getting ready for bed. Probably hugging a new teddy bear, probably feeling safe, because 14 police dogs had surrounded her in an airport, because one cop had refused to break a promise, because sometimes, just sometimes, the good guys won, and that was enough, more than enough. Mark turned off the porch light, called Rex inside. Tomorrow would bring new cases, new challenges, new promises to keep. But tonight, he'd kept the one that mattered most. He'd saved a little girl, protected her family, helped bring down criminals who thought they were untouchable. Not because he was special, not because he was a hero, but because when evil showed up at an airport and put its hands on an innocent child, Mark Jensen and his dog had been there to say no. And they'd meant it.